Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone. Super excited
Woo!
to be at Career Acceleration Summit.
I had a hard time getting a night rest the night before this because I just couldn't contain the butterflies I had in my tummy. I couldn't just wait already for day one morning session to start
Day
already.
one.
Finally, the Career Acceleration Summit is here, and we're so excited and happy to welcome you live to joining us from wherever you're joining from across the world. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining the Career Acceleration Summit 2024.
Oh my God.
We're broadcasting live from our studio here at the Central Business District in the city of Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory, Nigeria. We're hosting a global conference, and we're so happy that you're joining us today to make history. We have prayed, we're planned, we're prepared, and finally, we have seen the desire of our heart in the commencement of the Career Acceleration Summit. I have with me on set today the convener of the Career Acceleration Summit, the one, the only Mrs. Afalake Agubiade, lead consultant, Katsing Consult, and the CEO of Katsing Consult. How are you feeling today, man?
I don't have the right words. I think I'm going to use a bunch of words. I'm excited.
Okay.
I am anticipating.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm intrigued.
Whoa.
I am pumped.
I'm
ready to see how the day evolves.
Come on now.
You know, it's not every day that we get to host a global summit of this magnitude.
Absolutely.
And I must say, everyone joining us from wherever you're joining in, you are the reason why we are here.
Talking about the reason why we are here, this is a passion project for us. In this summit, you're going to receive tools, information, skills, and networks that you need to elevate your career. Now, think about this for a minute. What is a car without an accelerator? What is a bicycle without a pedal? Just recently, we received the interesting news that the pump price has been increased again. When was the last time you experienced a major shift or a jump or a leap in your career? That is what this summit is about. Regardless of where you are, whether you just completed NYSC or you've been a professional for many years, or you've been in a career path and you're looking to transition into another, the array of speakers that we have in this year's summit would definitely blow your mind. And I can assure you that you're going to get a lot of value from this engagement. So this is what we request of you. So please share this link with everyone that you love and everyone that you want to see their career thrive and accelerate. Now, we're going to do a throwback video shortly, which, while I was watching, taught me the value of growth. It is important in our lives and in our journey that we grow as a community and as a people. So I want to encourage you this morning, everyone and anyone that you know, whom you love, and you want to see grow with you in their career journey, I implore you to please share this link with them and let them get in the room.
I think a good place to start before we take that video is tell us where you're joining us from.
Come on now.
Wherever you are in the world, drop your name, what you do, and where you're joining us from. We want to meet you.
Absolutely.
Like I always say, in summits like this, the best thing to do is stay visible. True. It's a career acceleration summit. Why would you want to be hiding? Type your name, the city you are joining us from, and what you do so that someone can meet you. You don't have an idea the array of people who have registered for this summit. Secondly, as you are sharing the link, make sure you share the registration link. For everyone who is in our database, we have summit perks, exclusive.
You can say that again.
Exclusive from some of our top line sponsors reserved for you. So if you are not a registered participant, you are sitting on a treadmill. I know you want to accelerate. However, don't be sitting on a treadmill. Make sure you register. The link is being shared right there. Click on it, register, drop your CV so that you can be in our bank, and we will be taking you on a ride of your life.
Thank you so much. Talking about our live stream, I can see we have Nina joining us. Good morning, Nina. We see you. Thank you for joining. Atinuke, we see you joining. HR professional joining from Abuja, Nigeria. She's one of our moderators. Chidera, we see you. Good morning. Thank you for joining from Oka in Anambra State. Pascaline Chisom joining from Abuja. Ngozi Lillian from Delta and a fashion designer. Wow. Fantastic. D-Flash, we see you as well, watching from the city of Jalingo.
Taraba.
Wow. I guess we have the entire nation represented in here. I can't wait for our diaspora audience to join us as well. Gogi's Delight, we see you joining from Lokogoma, Abuja, HR professional. Thank you. Chidera, Chine, a student, you're welcome. You're welcome to the Career Acceleration Summit. Margaret, we see you as well from Cross River State. Israel, that's my namesake. Can you imagine that?
Welcome to the summit.
Special welcome for you, Israel. Shout out from your namesake in-house. Amede Oba, pardon me, joining from Abuja, currently doing your NYSC. Fantastic. Get in your community, get your friends, get your loved ones. Tell everyone to tell someone to ensure that they get in the room and let us get the Career Acceleration Summit started.
Now.
Israel, I see you sending me love at 3B emojis. You hope to get a job soon, then that is possible. Just make sure you write down and you practice everything you learn. It was Ray Kroc who said there are two factors that are very important for success, for major success. He said one is being in the right place at the right time, and two is doing something about the information that you receive. So it's important that you're here, and now that you're here, make sure that you put every information that you will mine from this engagement to work, and make sure you put it to good use. We will return to do a lot more introductions as we proceed, but
just keep dropping it.
Just keep dropping it. We will recognize you, we see you, and we're so happy to have you join us. So talking about the history and the evolution of the Career Acceleration Summit, convener, ma'am, is this the first edition of the Career Acceleration
How possible? This is 7 years coming, guys.
Woo!
7 years.
Wow.
And guess what? This is the very first time in the history of Career Acceleration Summit that it is coming to you free of charge.
Amazing.
A summit worth 250,000 naira is coming to you courtesy of Card Sync Consult. Wow. So, what are you waiting for that you've not shared this with everyone around you? I think it will be a good time to just jump into that video.
Yes.
Let's look at the evolution.
All right, media team, Career Acceleration Summit, media team working backstage, doing a fantastic job. We say thank you. We have a video. Let's take you through a journey and let's make history together today, everyone. Welcome back. Wow.
Wait, can you guys take a quick guess what size I was back then? Because I'm in shock. How was that for you? Type. I want the audience online to be engaging. This is a virtual summit. You must be buzzing back to back. My God.
To back. Thank God for growth. I almost couldn't recognize you in that video. And hello, everyone. Just so I tell you, I wasn't there in 2017. I didn't join in 2018, but I'm here in 2024, and I'm certainly going to make my mark. And I'm excited that we're doing this together. Everyone joining us from across the world, we see you. Today, we have a packed session. The first session starts at 9 a.m. and ends at 12. And we're having the evening session for today, starting at 5 p.m. and ending at 8 p.m. We have an array of speakers that are industry experts, career professionals, and they will be speaking to us on different topics that would elevate our career journey. So this morning, we will be starting with the one, the only Mr. Damola, Richard Salvador. I won't tell you so much about him. I would allow for the introduction to come up at some time. But before we move on to that, I would like for the convener who I have seated beside me, my very own sister, business partner, lead consultant, CEO, convener, career acceleration summit. The list is endless. She's a body of knowledge, an institution on her own. She will be welcoming us to the summit officially and telling us the concept and the idea. What was on your mind when this idea dropped? What is the Career Acceleration Summit about?
Well, I would tell you from starters that when it started about 7 years ago, I saw a question online. Someone asked if they were going to get a certification at the end of the summit. For this summit, it's a free summit, so you know the answer already. But when it started 7 years ago, it was a masterclass. It was meant to give you the tools to step ahead in your career. In my welcome address, I'll be telling you a bit more, but career acceleration speaks for itself. Sure. It takes you through a journey of growth and evolution, because I believe so strongly in the statement that has driven me over the years. And it's this profound statement that stagnant water stinks, especially in your career. If you are not moving, if you're not growing, if you're not evolving, and particularly if you're not accelerating, then you're going to fizzle out. In the future of work that we live in right now, it can't be business as usual. That's why career acceleration started. So yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for giving us that sneak peek into the Career Acceleration Summit, the evolution, the history, the concept, and the idea behind it. We're excited. And we're super, 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 super delighted to welcome you all once again. Convener Ma, I wouldn't know if you want to take a welcome address once again to just welcome everyone just before we move into the outline and the overview of what we have scheduled for our participants.
Definitely. I want to take a moment to welcome everyone joining us, wherever you're joining from, and you have been a part of this journey. From 7 years till this point, whether you are the first person in the community or you are the last person that just joined us this morning, you are important, and that's why this summit was set up for you. Career Acceleration Summit, like I said earlier, came out from the fact that I looked at my life at that point in time. I think I'd been working for about 13 years. And I realized that in my 13 years of leaving school, I had never been out of a job. Yeah, not for one day. At that point in time, we were doing a lot of recruitment, and we would see people come to interview rooms from fresh graduates, young executives, middle-level professionals, senior management team members, come for interviews, and they don't have what it takes to take themselves to the next level. So even with their technical expertise, there are certain skills that you need to have to attract the right employer to you, to position yourself as a top talent. And we started having those master classes to engage professionals who wanted to upgrade. We had moved into the future of work. And when COVID happened, it wasn't a shock that we were able to have the future of work classes to help more people evolve at the speed of light. So I ask you, what do you want in your career? That would be my welcome to you. To our partners, our sponsors, our amazing faculty that have made today possible. And of course, to you, the participant, who is in the room making it worth our time, I say welcome. Stay with us. Don't miss any of the sessions. We have 4 sessions, 9 to 12 morning session each day, 5 to 8 evening session each day, today and tomorrow. Don't miss any of it because you'll thank me at the end of this summit. And from our team at the CATSync Consult that have powered this summit, thank you for all you do. Welcome, everyone, and God bless you.
Thank you so much, convener, man. We appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, please, can you just let it rain in the chat room and say a very big thank you to this amazing woman who has put this together for every one of us to learn. I'm not just a moderator. I couldn't bring my notepad on set. It's so big. I'm ready to learn and mine a lot of learnings, a lot of tools, and I'm here to network and connect with everyone in the room as well. So we say a very big thank you. On behalf of our global audience, we'd like to say a very big thank you for putting this together at no cost at all to each and every one of us. It couldn't have come at a better time. And talking about coming at not have come at a better time, this is actually, for those of us in Nigeria, the month of October is the month where Nigeria did celebrate its independence celebration.
Yeah.
So we thought to put this together in this month as I give back to our nation, Nigeria, and for it to be a mind shift and a liberating experience for everyone who will be joining. As she said earlier, what is your career journey? What notes do you want to write to yourself today? Because in another 1 year, 365 days, 6 months, 3 months for some, even 1 week, because of the learnings and the experiences that we're taking away from here, you will certainly not be on the same level. So without much ado, I'd like to bring up stage our next speaker, Mr. Damola Richard Salvador. Is waiting backstage, and we cannot wait to just bring him on stage. Media team, can you please just bring Mr. Damola up stage? Let's just see his face. I'll read his profile very quickly, and the next face you're going to see after the profile is that of our facilitator, the first facilitator for this morning session, Mr. Damola Richard Salvador. Damola Salvador is a CEO and the lead strategist at DigiSplash, a content lead integrated marketing an award-winning advertising agency, and Polarift Studio, a modern photography and video production studio based in the city of Lagos. He's a marketing professional with over 14 years experience, with strong creative and strategic skills. Damola's uncanny knack for interpreting and distilling brand needs has led to an admirable level of respect across industries. He holds a BA honors in business and IT from the Dublin Business School. He is an associate member of Archon and a member of the Forbes BLK community. Ladies and gentlemen, wherever you're joining from across the world, we ask that you please put your hands together and give a resounding encomium for our first facilitator for this morning session, Mr. Damola Salvador. The next face you'll see right after my voice is that of Damola Richard Salvador. Welcome, welcome once again. Thank you for joining us. We are delighted and excited to have you join us at the Career Acceleration Summit, sir.
Thank you, thank you. I'm glad to be here. And I look forward to an exciting time.
Woo! Yippee.
Thank you for joining us.
You're
Good
welcome.
to see you, Mr. Damola. You're welcome to the Career Acceleration Studio.
I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be here. I'm looking forward to it.
Over to you. Take it from here.
Okay, so thank you everyone. Thanks for joining us. And today we're going to be starting off with a session on personal branding. I'll just present my screen so that we go through it together. Just a second. Let me present my screen. Okay. Please confirm you can see my screen so I can kick off. Okay, so today I'm going to be talking about standing out in the crowded world with personal branding. So we live in a very competitive world today, and I always say that your competition isn't like the way it used to be anymore. So years ago, you'd be competing with maybe people in your set. Maybe you graduated in 2015. You'd be competing with people in 2015. Today, because of the unemployment rates, the level of competition globally, you're basically competing with the world. So the world is now a global village where brands and everyone is competing for attention. Even when it comes to companies and organizations, everybody is competing for the same. They tell you that the average attention span of a person is about 4 seconds, which is shorter than the attention span of a goldfish. So everybody is competing for attention. And basically when you wake up in the morning, what's the first thing most people do is they check their phone. People are very what I call it, have low attention span. And it means that everybody's competing for your attention. And it's the same when it comes to your career as well. What if you go for an interview, what makes you stand out? Like I always tell people that if your presence isn't felt, if your absence isn't felt, your presence isn't needed. So basically, that also applies even in your career as well. So I'm going to be speaking on personal branding and how that can help you stand out in a crowded world. So let's say you have two people with the same exact CV, the exact same skills, exact same qualifications. Why would an organization pick you above another? Why do people pick brands over other brands? Basically, that's what I'm going to be talking about. So first, let's start with some interesting numbers to think about. So there are 25 million plus graduates unemployed in Nigeria. So millions are competing for you for the same jobs. According to stats, 32.5% in 2024 is the unemployment rate in Nigeria, and is estimated to reach 32.5% by this year. 70, about 3/4 of working age Nigerians were unemployed in Q4 2022 and 76.7% in Q1 2023. So it means that you're basically competing in a very competitive space. Of all recruiters, 95% believe that the job market will remain or get more competitive. So if you don't stand out online, your competition will. So we know that the world is becoming more competitive, not less competitive. 70% of HR departments are required to search job applicants online. So people are searching everywhere. So your reputation online matters. Offline and offline matters, most especially online today. And we're currently working with a client that we've never met physically. All our interactions from the pitching phase, everything was online. And there's a good chance that when they met me, they've gone on my LinkedIn, they've gone on my Instagram, they've done a bit of research on, about me online, even though they've never met me physically. And it's the same. We've had clients that I've worked with in other countries, Dubai, Kenya, and other places. I've never met them physically. And everything that they've done or based on the trust that they got. And I think everything will be an accumulation of personal branding. So I'll just go through some other stats. 70% of US recruiters and HR professionals have rejected candidates based on information they found online. Of all executive recruiters say that they conduct online research of potential candidates. So your personal branding matters a lot. When it comes to businesses, out of all business decision makers, 84% start their buying process with a referral. And Google is the first place people look after getting a referral. So even if someone recommends you for a job, the first thing, the person that gets the recommendation is going to do is they're going to check online. They're going to check out your personal branding. They want to know, how do you position if what they've heard about you is true. All right. So what is branding? Branding is what people say about you when you're not in the room. So there's a big difference between branding and marketing. And a lot of times people mix both of them up. Marketing is you telling people about yourself. Branding is what people perceive about you. So branding is not what you tell them. Branding is what they believe about you. So it's people's perception of you. So I'll give you an example of maybe in a relationship. Branding is why they choose you. Marketing is telling them to choose you. So your marketing is you making people aware of who you are. Branding is their perception of you. If they think you're cool, do they think you're cool? Do they like your voice? Do they like what you're about? So branding is what people say about you when you're not in the room. All right. So branding is all about perception. So everyone has a personal brand, whether they realize it or not. It is how you are being perceived. So for example, you can see the example I have on the screen. The first person says 6, the other person is saying 9. Many people, so it's not about what you think about yourself. What you think people think about you is about what do they perceive of you. So for example, you may think that people think of me as a cool person, or they think of me as a professional. That's what you think. What you think is not what really matters. It's like going for an interview. You may think that you're fit for the job, but the decision maker is the interviewer. The interviewer may have a different perception of you. So personal branding is ensuring that what you perceive of yourself and what they perceive of you matches up. And that's your personal brand. Your personal brand is people's perception of you. So personal branding is the ongoing process of creating, establishing, and communicating a clear statement or image of who you are to others. So basically it's, creating the right perception of yourself, the perception you want people to have of you. Your personal brand is what people are saying about you when you are not able to hear them. So what do they think about you? What did they say about you when you're not able to hear them? When you're outside the room, what do people view you as? Do they think you're professional? Do you think you're creative? What do they think about you? So it's plays into everything, every dimension of who you are. The way you dress, the way you talk, the way you speak, how intelligent you are. It's people's perception of you. So personal branding is becoming less of a competitive edge and more of a requirement for anyone looking to grow their business, get their dream job, or take their career to the next level. So today we're doing a career acceleration. So if you're looking to take your career to the next level, your personal brand is part of the things that you need to implement or you need to look at to ensure that you're accelerating with the times. For example, when you see the picture on the screen right now, what words come to mind when you see him? So I'm showing a picture of a popular Nigerian musician, Portable. If he said, I am a financial guru, would you believe based on the perception you have of him? It doesn't matter what he thinks. What matters is, do you agree with that perception? And I'm sure the answer would be no. The next picture is a financial titan in Africa or in Nigeria. So what words come to mind when you see him? A good word would be, this is Tony Lemelu. People would agree that you can think trust, you can think finance. Those are words that when you associate with finance, when you think of finance, you want to believe that the person is trustworthy. If this was the picture you saw, would you want to give this person your money? The answer is no. Not that there's anything wrong with him, but the issue there is perception. Would you perceive him to be someone to trust when it comes to banking and finance? The answer is no. But when you see this other person, based on the perception that he gives, he's someone that you would want to do business with. So if you don't distinguish yourself from the crowd, you just be in the crowd. That's a quote from Rebecca Mark. So in life, the point of personal branding is to distinguish yourself from competition. I'll just speak on a few things just to buttress some of the points that I've made. So when it comes to your personal branding, one thing is important is your target audience. Your target audience are the people that your personal branding affects, or the people that have that perception. So for professionals, it will be individuals seeking to improve their marketability and reputation in the respective industries. So like we've heard earlier, it doesn't matter who you are, even if you're a student, you are a early graduate, you're already a professional, or you've been in the industry for a number of years. It's important that you take your personal branding serious, because people are going to have a perception of you. If you're an entrepreneur, you have a small business, or you run the business on your own, your personal brand would also help you grow your business. People do not connect with brand names, they connect with people. When you even think of social media, what's the brands that you follow and the people you connect with most times is because they are social. It's the social part of them that you connect with. People connect with people, and people need to see you for who you are. They need to see that you're interesting. They need to see that you're fun. For students, maybe you're looking to get a job, you're looking for an internship, whatever it may be. Your personal branding will determine if you get the job or the role or the internship from other people as well. All right. So personal branding is the process of shaping public perception. Let me go back to the earlier slide. So it's shaping public perception of an individual by positioning them as an expert in their industry or field. Importance in today's digital and professional landscape. So why does personal branding matter? Number one is it increases your visibility and credibility. People do not buy what they are not aware of. You will not date somebody that you never met. The first stage is that they must be aware of you. Same thing, if you think of the brands that you consume, let's think of a toothpaste brand, maybe Close Up. The reason why you would choose Close Up is because you are aware of Close Up. If I told you to use, let me say, Pasty, you've never heard of the brand, the chances that you would choose that brand reduces because you've never heard of it. So the first stage, what personal branding does for you is that it increases your visibility. So visibility is important. People, that's the first stage of awareness. The first stage of the consumer journey is awareness. People need to be aware of you to even consider you. The second part of it is credibility. It increases your credibility. So it gives people a level of trust that they can trust the brand and they can trust you if you have a good personal brand. It also helps you differentiate you from competitors. Like I was saying earlier, we live in a very competitive world. So these are all pencils. But the red pencil, because of its color, stands it out from the crowd. So life is a competitive space. In DigiSplash, my company, we always say that the world is a crowded ocean, and we help brands stand out. So everybody, the ocean is a very big place. The world is a very big place. And authenticity and difference is what makes you stand out. So it's important that your personal branding helps you stand out. So in doing that, one of the key things to look at is your unique selling, your USP, or your unique selling proposition. So in coming up with your personal brand, one thing to look at is your unique selling proposition. So basically, instead of attempting to be known for everything, businesses and people with a unique selling proposition stand for something specific, and it becomes what you're known for. So in other words, be different. So personal branding is basically what makes you different, what helps you stand out from the crowd. I'll use an example of football. So think of the different football clubs. And what makes Arsenal or Manchester United or Chelsea stand out? There are different things. There's a perception you get when you think of certain clubs. The colors, the fonts they use, the emblems they use, everything is about standing out and differentiating themselves from the millions or thousands of other football clubs. So in personal branding, being different is very important. So as people, we are all unique and different. As professionals, especially self-employed or even if you're a career person, we all have something that sets us apart from everyone else, including our colleagues and competitors. We may have a different idea of service, a product that has more benefits, a specialty, a niche, what we know better than anyone else. Basically, your personal brand should amplify that. It should amplify the things that make you different and make you better. Nobody likes the same. Everybody wants to stand out. So don't blend into the crowd, stand out. So the problem is when you attempt to be known for everything, you don't become known for anything. So when it comes to personal branding, the point is not to blend in, but to stand out. You need to find what is unique about you, unique about your business, unique about yourself, unique about your story. So for example, two people can have the same experience. How you tell the story, is what helps you stand out. I'll give maybe a biblical example. In the Bible, there are the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. The four of them speak about the same thing, but in different ways. Luke is a doctor. He speaks of it in a doctoral way. That helps him stand out. The name Luke stands out from Mark and John. So personal branding is what helps you distinguish yourself from the crowd. If you go for an interview and there are 6,000 people, or let's say 600 of them have the same qualifications as you. Some people may even have better degrees, better qualifications. Why should you be chosen? What is going to help you stand out? It's kind of like even when you're dating, there are plenty of people your potential spouse can choose. Why should they choose you? That's your personal branding is what's going to differentiate you. Many people will market themselves, but your personal brand will determine who is selected. So I'm going to talk about using your unique selling proposition to stand out with your personal branding. So what's the unique selling proposition? I'll go through the different words. Unique is clearly distinguishes you and sets you apart from competition, positioning you the more logical choice. So you're trying to position yourself as the most logical choice in the minds of whoever is choosing. So let's say you're interviewing for a designer job. Why should you be the designer that is chosen? In the mind of the agency or whoever is choosing you. Number two is your selling. It persuades another to exchange money for a product or service. So why should they hire you? You must sell, and selling is about persuasion. It persuades another to exchange money. And, when it comes to a job, why should they offer you the job? You need to sell yourself. That's part of the things that your personal branding will do for you. And the last part is proposition. It's a proposal or offer suggested for acceptance. So you are basically selling yourself and letting people know you are the best in line for the job. So it's the selling proposition that makes you unique. Your USP is the selling proposition that makes you unique. For example, I have a picture there of a striped elephant. If different elephants were coming for an interview and you see a striped elephant at the interview, it's going to drive a bit of curiosity. It's going to make people interested in what you do. I'll give you an example. So in football, we see that certain players, years ago, all footballers used to wear black boots. Then a footballer started to wear a different color boots. Why? To stand out. So when the clubs were going to choose which player, they will say the player that wore red boots or the player that wears, yellow boots. All boots are the same. What made the person unique was just the color. He sold that he was different, and it made him unique. So your unique selling proposition is selling the proposition that makes you unique, that makes you stand out. Many people have different strengths. What you do is sell your strengths. You show people the reason what makes you better than others. It's basically what a lot of personal branding is about. So the core differentiating factor that sets you apart from others. In the picture we have here, we have a lot of blue fish, and we see an orange fish swimming in the different direction. What is this doing? Showing that I'm different. So personal branding stands you out, and you need to stand out. People see, so I always tell people, if they go for an interview and they interview 10 people, what would make you stand out from the 10? That's basically the things that you should be thinking about. If they were going to select, how would they not forget you? So for example, for me, one of the things that stands me out is my surname. My surname is Salvador. I like to push it a lot because it's hard for people to forget because it brings a bit of curiosity. Some people ask, are you Nigerian? Where are you from? That is unique to me. So I push it out. People do not forget that name. If I tell people, if they ask for one name, I'll tell them Salvador. Why? They will not forget. It helps them, it helps with remembrance, it helps with recall. because it's unique. So same thing that you should do for yourself. Your personal brand should be something that is unique to you, that helps you distinguish yourself. Let's go through some case studies. So I'll give some personal branding case studies, but first let's look at some corporate case studies. So a good example is MTN Nigeria. So MTN Nigeria is a Nigerian mobile network. So they are not the first to offer the service, but they have a larger subscriber base than their competition. With their slogan, "Everywhere you go," which basically implies that they have the most coverage across the country. Many people joined the network because they felt they would always be in service no matter where they were. So what MTN did, as they were launching, was use a unique selling proposition everywhere you go. They also have their brand colors yellow. When you see yellow and black, you can even guess that it is MTN. What they've done in the minds of people is give a perception that everywhere you go, MTN is there. They're the network with wide coverage. They sold that and gave us that perception. Even if it's everywhere you go, you don't get network. But it's a perception that they've been able to give people. If you ask most Nigerians that what network has the best coverage, most people will tell you MTN. Before it became a reality, they started with the perception. The perception, and the truth is, perception is what, if people think that you are that way, that is who you are to them. So perception matters. Another example is Coca-Cola. They're a major brand with a simple USP. They sell a delicious product that is unavailable anywhere else, thanks to their secret recipe. The USP is scarcity and the fact that there's nothing else like what they offer. So when you think of Coke, you think of what makes them unique. Their colors, they sell happiness. They sell an emotion, the emotion of happiness. And that's as entrenched into people's minds. Let's give some other examples of brands that we can think. Okay, so let's look at some corporate brands. There's Kuda. So they have over 3 million users and they offer free transactions. Their tagline was the bank of the free. What they did was sell freedom. They targeted young people, a unique target audience, Gen Zs and millennials. And they went with the approach, the bank of the free. Young people like to associate with freedom of choice and freedom of different things. And they played in that space. They distinguished themselves from the crowd using technology. For example, they do not have any physical outlets. They were a digital first brand and they sold themselves as the bank of the free. They started off with, get free transactions every month, 25 free transactions every month, when you sign up to Kuda. Another example is Netflix. So Netflix offers good content and they get loyal customers or subscribers. The tagline, see what's next, watch anywhere. What they've done is differentiate themselves, and we can see how much of the market they've stolen from brands like DSTV and some of the traditional way things were done. What gave them a leverage was branding. They just branded different. They positioned different. And for the football lovers, we have people like Ronaldo. What does he sell? What makes him different? What's his personal brand? His personal brand is that he scores the most goals and gets the most pay. I score goals. So what he sells is that I score goals. And for football lovers, he calls himself CR7 with his number. When you see CR7, you can associate it with Ronaldo. You can associate him with goals. He sells that he scores goals. He amplifies the fact that he scores goals. Anytime he gets a milestone of goals, he puts it up. Recently, he opened a YouTube channel and in less than 48 hours became one of the top 4 YouTube channels. Why? People believe the perception he has given. He's a brand. He has sold himself as a brand. He's not begging people to follow him. He has, because of his right positioning, been able to sell himself to his audience. So one thing that personal branding does for you is it helps you sell yourself to your audience. So what are some of the building blocks? What are some of the building blocks for personal branding? I'll just mention a few, and you can note down as well. So so finding your unique selling proposition. First thing that you can look at, you can use this formula. What do you do well? So what do you do well? What does the customer want, or what does your interviewee want? So you're going to interview for a design job, for example, or a copywriting job. What do they want? Or what will the company, your ideal company, what are the attributes that they're looking for that ideal role? What do your competitors do well? If you can mix these three together, you look for this, will help you identify your unique selling proposition. What do you do well? What do the consumer want? And what does your competitor do well? So in terms of your winning zone, when your brand makes what your customers want, your losing zone is if your customers want something your competitors do better than you lose. So your personal brand should not be amplifying what others do better than you. You should be amplifying the part of you that is unique to you, that makes you better than others. It's risky when the competitive battle is expensive, no clear advantage. If there's no clear advantage, you find a way to stand out. So two people are offering the same thing. The taste is different. So let's look at Pepsi and Coke. Almost the same. It's a very competitive space. What should stand them out cannot be taste anymore. That's why Coke and Pepsi, when you see any of their ads, they do not sell taste. They sell experience. They sell emotions. They do not sell taste. Why? They can't really compete in taste. Taste is not too far off. So what they compete with are other things. Coke is selling happiness. We make you happy. They show happy faces, show families, show people smiling. They amplify the areas that they can compete with. Pepsi play more with influencers and ambassadors. They play more with their associations. We associate with the top musicians. So their advantage is associations, and that is the part that they amplify. So same thing for you. Look for the areas that make you unique. What are the things that make you unique? What are the things that help you stand out? The things that it will be hard for others to compete with. The who cares part of it is the customers don't want your products. People don't just care about what you want. And it affects a lot of brands generally. Because you've been looking for a job for a long time, your interviewer that's not going to get you the job. They don't care if you're looking for a job for a long time. They don't care that Nigeria is hard. What they care about is the value that you bring, the perceived value that you bring. So it's important that you show people with your personal branding the perceived value that you bring. So the question to ask is, how do you find your unique selling proposition in coming up with your personal brand? Question to ask is, who are you? What are your qualities? What are your values? What are your attributes that make you different from other businesses or people? So everybody is a business. Everybody is a brand. Everybody has a perception of you, so you are a brand. How are you better than your competitors? How are you better than other candidates? What about you is unique? What about you is unique? So this diagram shows some of the different things that you can stand out with. So, for example, Aldi positions as a sage. A sage is someone that can position for thought leadership. Can you position for thought leadership as your personal brand? Is that something that you can sell, that you're a thought leader? This is most likely for people that have been working for a number of years. If you're a starter, I don't think you should be positioning as a thought leader. For Nike positions as a hero brand. We're coming to save. Do you want to position as a hero? What are the qualities that you have that can help you position as a hero? Or are you a caregiver? Maybe what's unique about you is the quality of your customer service. You are very good at customer service and that with people. That could be how you position, like a fairy brand. Apple positions as a creator. Maybe you're very creative. That could be how you position in the minds of your audience. Another tip would be authenticity. You need to be as transparent as possible. Authenticity is equal to transparency, which is equal to real followers and real believers. You can't fake it till you make it. Your vibe attracts your tribe. So in personal branding, focus on authenticity. What are the things that are authentic to you? So that what you I always say that, there's sometimes that they always say that what I ordered is different from what I got. You don't want that to be your experience, even when it comes to your career as well. That you position yourself as something that you're not. What happens is when you get the job, you will not keep the job because it doesn't match. So what you should sell for your personal branding are the authentic things about you. What are the things that make you unique? What are the things that are authentic? Sell your authenticity. Next part is your value. Your personal brand should project your value, offer value. People are loyal to value, the perceived value. Brands that survive are the ones that put their audience first. What value can you provide for my audience? What value can you provide for the company? Why should they choose you? Your personal branding is, in your personal branding, show the interviewer, show the brands the value that they get from you, offer value. Some of the biggest people that have the biggest followers today, what they've done is they've added value in some sort. So in your personal branding, the things you're posting, the things you're giving out, show what is valuable about you. So you're a marketing professional, show your marketing value, show the things that you know and you've learned. It's all about value. So what's the plan to generate value for my audience, to keep them coming back for more? It's not just about posting. It's about posting what is relevant. It is not just about writing articles. It's about writing articles that are relevant. Another thing you can do is also research competition. So for you to stand out, you need to know what other people are standing for, and you need to know what people are looking for. So identify how others are positioning, identify the skills that are relevant. Then that will help you tweak yourself for what is being looked for. Some other tips, I'll just rounding up, is align your social media, your CV, your website, your personal interactions with your brand. Where let everything be consistent. If you're positioning as a creative person, is it believable across all your platforms? Some people say that they're very creative. When they send in their CVs, there's nothing creative about the CV. They are saying they are creative, their CV is saying something else. So even in the way your CV is done, you should show a little bit of a sense of creativity. By looking at your CV, I should believe that you're a creative person. By going on your website, I should believe you're a creative person. By going on your social media, it should reflect that you are a creative person. Online branding is very important in today's world. We live in a digital age. So ensure that your social footprint or your digital footprint is consistent. The things that you're posting matters. How you're posting it. If people were to examine the things that they find about you, would they believe what you've put in your CV? Does it show that what they are ordering is what they are going to get? Today brands would research what you've put out online. And I think I'll just end with this. One thing you can also do is to do a SWOT analysis of yourself. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What are the opportunities? And what are the threats? So write out the things that make you unique. Your strengths are the things that make you unique. Maybe the skills that you have, the qualifications that you have, the experiences, unique experiences that you have could be your strengths. Your weaknesses, help you identify the things that you should not be showcasing. You don't need to show those parts. You amplify your strengths, you minimize your weaknesses. In coming up with your strengths and weaknesses, it helps you identify the opportunities. What areas can you leverage on? The threats would be from knowing your weaknesses, it will help you identify the threats to you, the things that you should minimize and the things that you should not put up. I think I'll just end it here because of time. Thank you for listening. I'll be sharing the presentation, and I'm sure that the team at the Career Acceleration Summit would share with everybody that would like to have it. So thank you for having me.
Oh my God. Are we making it loud? Thank you so much, Mr. Damola Salvador. That was simply amazing. Personal branding for career acceleration. Wow. And your generous offer to actually give us the slides so we can share with the participants. Are you guys making some noise there already? This is invaluable. Thank you so much. You said a lot of things that if I were going to play it back, we probably would not be able to move to the next session. And I think for me, one of the powerful things that you said that struck me is that you are measured by who you are, by your personal brand. People don't even know you, but they get to meet you based on your personal brand, and they measure you and align you accordingly how you brand yourself personally. Thank you so much for being a part of the Career Acceleration Summit. We're grateful for you, and we hope to have you back at the panel session at the end of today's session, just before 12 o'clock at the panel discussion session, so that we can take all the questions. So if you have a question at this point, jump into the chat room, drop your questions. A member of the team will be harvesting your questions for the panel session. One more time, can we make it loud for Mr. Damola Salvador? By the way, when you were speaking, I used to be a Von some years ago before Mr. Agubiade married me. And it was a personal brand. It used to open a lot of doors for me. However, welcome to the life of a married woman. So now I try to chip it in sometimes, Nivon, because you can't forget the name. So that's also struck. Thank you for sharing, and have a lovely day. Thank you so much. We're going to be moving on very quickly at the Career Acceleration Summit. Our next facilitator is backstage, ready, loaded, and ready to jump on stage. You can't afford to miss this. If you are yet to share this link, share the link now. And if you are yet to register, you're watching, you're yet to register. There are exclusive perks that are available only for registered participants. We're going to be sending them discount coupons from 5 of our sponsors that have discounted their services for you. One of our top sponsors in the room with us physically is our media partner, Studio 24, and they will be giving you headshots at ridiculous discounts. It is part of your personal branding. Don't go and put a wedding picture on your LinkedIn profile. Please. That's a crime. Don't take a picture of you when you were in uni. Or some of you that never changed your DP. Hello, what's the problem? Am I shouting? Forgive me. So get your, your studio headshots, high quality definition, taken from Studio 24, one of our media partners. And you can only get that coupon if you registered for the summit. The link is there. Register, share it with your family and friends, anyone you need to accelerate, and get them into the room. I'll be back as we take on our next speaker. See, I'm in this summit. I'm ready. There are too many people joining us from across the world, and we're not joking. So strap in your belt as we take on the next speaker for today, our second speaker for Career Acceleration Summit. Make it loud in the chat room.
All right, welcome back, everyone, once again. How was the first session, by the way? I have my notes full. I wrote a whole lot, and I'm beginning to write down action points, things I want to begin to do from today. Don't worry, you're in for a time of your life, I assure you. I'm bringing up the next speaker right about now, and she's none else than Ms. Tomi. She's backstage, and she's waiting to join us right about now. I'll read her profile shortly, and then she'll come live on stage. She's speaking to us today about lifelong learning, acquiring skills for a changing job market. You don't want to miss it. Please make sure you share this link with everyone you love. This summit is free, it's virtual, and it's free 100%. I'll be reading her profile right about now, and the next voice you hear after this will be that of our next speaker. Thank you, media team. Tomi is a people enabler, growing the next marketplace generation and workforce. She is currently a management consultant at Professional HR and Support Services, where she provides HR leadership and management consultancy services to clients of repute across various industries, improving their operational efficiency, staff productivity, and overall business performance. With almost 2 decades experience in human resource management, she has successfully supervised and executed numerous HR initiatives and projects that created and promoted workplaces where both the enterprise and the employees thrive. Today, we are honored, we're delighted, and we're privileged to have with us at the Career Acceleration Summit 2024, speaking on the topic, lifelong learning, acquiring skills for a changing job market, the one, the only, Miss Tomi. Please make it rain in the chat room and make her welcome. Let her know that we love and we value the wealth of experience and industry that she's bringing in. I'm clapping physically. You're welcome, and it's so good to see you.
Okay. Thank you, Israel. Hello, everyone. So good to be here. I'm truly excited. This is something that has been a burden in my heart for a while. I was speaking with Folake a while back, and I'm so glad, so excited to be a part of this summit. I'm sure very soon they'll be sharing my slides. I think I put it up already. I'm trying to share my slides. I think you can help me with that, right? Can it be seen? Okay, fine. Okay, so basically, I'm supposed to be speaking about lifelong learning, acquiring skills for a changing job market. But before I go in to begin to speak more about these things, one of the first things I'd like to speak to about everyone who is listening is that you even need to understand what the job market is all about. I've been working, like it has been introduced, I've been in the labor market, job market, as a human resource person for almost 2 decades. I have seen different sets of people. I have been in different interviews. I've been part of several initiatives that has brought me to the point where I can speak about this and just, provide some guidance to a lot of people who are listening. So as we're speaking, I'll be using layman's language. I'm not going to be so technical because am not there are different categories of people in this meeting. We have the newbies who are fresh graduates from school. We have the experienced people, and we have people who are in between. So I'm going to be using layman's language. I'm going to give you examples so that I can buttress my point and help you to understand what I'm saying. I'm going to be giving case scenarios, experiences that I've had before, the outcome, and what happened. And so basically, that's it for me. So, lifelong learning, acquiring skills for a changing job market. Please, I would like you to pin down a few things for me. There's a lifelong learning, there are skills to be acquired. There's a job market, and that job market is constantly changing. I'm going to delve deeper into that as I go on. So, what is a job market? The problem with a lot of people who come into the job market is that they don't even understand what the job market is all about or how it operates. And so I'm going to be focusing on a few things. First of all, in the job market, it's just like a typical market, like every other market. There are buyers and there are sellers. The buyers are the people who place a demand for supply in the job market. The buyers are employers of labor. They have things that they have in mind and what they would like to do. The sellers are people who come into the labor market with their skills, their competencies, their work experience, and they brought it for sale. So, what is constantly on sale has skills, talents, knowledge, even your attitude is on sale. So, basically, in the market industry or in the job market, we have businesses. And what are businesses trying to do? They are trying to solve a problem because a need has been created. There are different needs that arise in the economy. Every day, different businesses have needs that they need to meet. And in the process of meeting those needs, that's what leads to job creation because there's a need that has to be met. A job was not created because you are pretty, you are fine, you can speak grammar. And so when you come in, that's the reason why they have to hire you. No, that job vacancy that you applied for, that job interview that you are currently vying for, that job for position you are currently vying for, was created to meet a need. And you have to have understanding of that. So there are certain things that drive the marketplace. That's the job market in particular. There are industrial trends. There are trends in industry that keep changing and they keep evolving. There are technological advancements. The platform we're using now is another technological advancement. I'm sure most of you are used to Zoom or you're used to Google Meet or you're used to free conference call. And there's so many of them like that. So before it was Skype. Meetings like this will hold on Skype. But people don't even use Skype anymore. Skype, I'm sure there are people in this room who have never heard Skype before. I will say that maybe like 10, 15 years ago, Skype would have been what we would have used for a meeting like this. But who even uses Skype anymore? There are technological advancements. Things are constantly changing. The job market is constantly evolving because the demand is constantly changing. And also there are many things. Like I said, there are different drives. The tastes of customers in the market also changes. And so the people providing the services, they have to keep evolving to meet the needs in the market. So I've emphasized again and again that in the job market, there's a need. And because there's a need, a job is created to meet that need. So you need to have understanding of that. The next thing, the demand, that is the buyers in the market. The next thing they do is that, okay, we have a need. We've identified that we have a need. There's a need in the market. Okay, so are the activities that need to be engaged? What are the things that need to be done for that need to be met? The need won't just be met, miraculously, and it's not by magic. There are certain things that have to be done for that particular need to be met. So they sit down and they put together all the things that have to be done for that need to be met. Then the next thing that happens after that, then they ask the next question. Okay, so we have a need, we have put together all the things that needs to be done for that need to be met. What kind of skills, what kind of profile is required to meet this need? What kind of personality? What kind of skills set? Combination of skills, not just one skill, a combination of skills. It has to do with so many things. What educational level? What kind of person can meet this need? And that's when they now go to the market. They come to the job market, armed with what we call a job description and a job profile. Then they come in. That's why when you see job vacancies, you see them, they'll put a job description. The job description is saying what they want done for that need that has been created to be met. And then the job profile is saying the kind of personality, the kind of skill set, the kind of work experience that we are looking for this need to be met. And then, of course, like I skipped that part. I said that before they even come to market, they decide, okay, so based on this need that we need met, what's the value of that need? What value will that need, if it is met and when it's being met, what value will it add to the business? What value will it add to the buyer? What value will it add to the demand that we are trying to meet? It now makes them set a wage against it. So they put a price tag against it. I'm sure there are so many of us in this room. We go to the market, and we have a shopping list. We go there to the market, we write, I want to buy a detergent. Or you can say, okay, I want to buy soap. Okay, so you go to the market and you say you want to buy soap. Soap is one thing. Is it just soap? Oh, there's bar soap, there's detergent, there's liquid soap. So what type of soap? So you now state what type of soap you need bought. Oh, this is the type of soap I want to buy. I want to buy a detergent. Okay, you want to buy a detergent, but what kind of detergent? Is it a detergent that is good for white clothes, or is it a detergent that is good for colored fabric? Then you say, okay, fine, I want a detergent that can work for colored fabric. So you see, I have broken it down. I have specified the exact kind of soap I want to buy. It's not just a liquid soap, it's a detergent. Apart from it being a detergent, it's a detergent that can work with colored outfits. Not that I'll buy a detergent that will ruin my colored outfit. So you can say, I'm so glad that the last speaker was speaking about branding. I'll come back to that later. But you need to understand that when a job is created, it is to meet a need. And the buyer, when they come to the market, they are looking for the profile of people who have the accurate skill set with and the accurate education, background, work experience, even personality and attitude. The accurate attitude. So it's a combination of many things that they're looking for when they come to the job market. And that's what they are coming with. And that's what I call the shopping list. And, even after they put together their shopping list, like I said, it comes with a price tag. There are wages tied against it. So there's a salary against it. That salary is depicting the value that that particular job function has or will have to that business when it is filled. I hope I've been able to clarify that part and I can move on. So now, certain things that we need to understand about the job market. The job market, it has a behavior, and there are certain trends that we need to take note of. The job market is dynamic. It is constantly evolving. It's not the same. What it was yesterday, or what it was last year, or what it was 10 years ago, is not what it is now. It's constantly evolving. It's highly competitive. Let me first of all give you an example of the dynamic and constantly evolving job market. One of my observations in the last, I think I noticed that for the past 3 years now, because of the economic dynamics and the economic situation in the country, where graduates will graduate from school and won't get jobs immediately, I have noticed a strong influx of graduates into the food industry. And because of the evolution of so many culinary schools in Nigeria, culinary schools are schools where they teach people how to cook, how to create meals, and how to be very creative and innovative about food and food presentations. And so there's so many culinary schools, evolving in the different parts of Nigeria. And because these young people are looking for what to do, many of them are now going to culinary schools. And the people that are being hired now, the people in the job market now who are just finished school and were looking for work. They went to culinary school, and of course, after finishing culinary school, those graduates, many of them have social media platforms, social media presence. Everything they make, they post it online, they advertise themselves, they say, oh, you come and hire me. So they've changed the dynamics. Now imagine, this was an industry that before the people were there, and people who probably did not even finish secondary school. Some of them don't even know how to use a computer. Most of them don't have a social media presence, except maybe on Facebook. And here we are having this influx of fresh graduates who are looking for work, don't have work, went to culinary school. Now they call themselves chefs. So you see chef this, chef that. I'm sure you must have seen a lot of that on Instagram. Chef this, chef that. I'm a chef. I'm a chef. Although they're not really chefs, but hey, they went to culinary school so they can create meals and they are educated. So here you are. They are changing the dynamics of that particular industry because there was an economic situation. So you can see how dynamic and constantly, I just give you an example of one industry. I'm talking about the food industry. And if you go back and check now, a lot of the people who have all these bookers, haven't you noticed that there are so many bookers now that are online? They are online, they sell online, you place food order online. They've evolved. It's not how it used to be. So you cannot stand somewhere and say, oh, a need has been created by economic situation. And so it has evolved. That particular job market, that particular marketplace has changed. It has evolved, and there's been an influx of talent that is different from what was there before. So definitely there will be competition. So the job market, I use that as an example just to buttress my point. It is a real life example, and it is still happening till today. And imagine the people who were there before, not school, not educated, no job profile, no social media platform, nothing, cannot even use a computer. Some of them don't even know how to use an Android phone. You can imagine what will happen to them. It's just a matter of time. So it is a dynamic, constantly evolving market. It is also highly competitive. It is competitive because of the influencers of the job market, industrial trends, technological advancements, changes in demographics. All this jackpot, okay, say it's jackpot, there's a lot of jackpot. It is making the job market highly competitive, and I will explain to you about that as I go on. It's a competitive market. It's a place where there are many people going out to acquire more skills because they found out that, oh, there's a need in that area. Nowadays we hear about data analysts. A lot of people are going into data analytics. A lot of people are doing to do Python. A lot of people are doing cybersecurity because they've noticed that the IT industry is getting stronger and stronger, and the demand in the market is getting higher and higher. People are asking for IT people, not just general ordinary IT people who can do network, networking, or they can do database management, but it's going beyond that. They're not looking for people who can do data analysis. They're looking for people who can use dynamic software. They're looking for people who can use Python. They're looking for people who can use all sorts of new software that is evolving. So it is a highly competitive market, and let me go on to say, it is a deliberate market. It's a deliberate market because this thing is being created. There's a need. The need is arising. And so the demand is being created because the demand has been created to meet the need that has arisen in the market. And these things will constantly keep happening. And so the job market will keep evolving. It will keep changing. The requirements will keep changing, to keep evolving. That's why we said it is a lifelong it's a lifelong experience. If you take notes in my previous slides, I was saying this is a lifelong learning. It's not something you're going to stop because it's constantly changing. Excuse me. And also, another thing about the job markets is that there's a need for consistent upskilling. Because let me explain, what is upskilling? Upskilling means that the skills you currently have, you go and upskill it. You go and acquire more skills. Let's say you have 3 or 4 skills before. Okay, so, I can use Microsoft Word. Please go and learn how to use PowerPoint. I can use PowerPoint. I'm very good at it. Please go and learn how to use Canva. I can use Canva. Please go and learn how to do graphic art design. I'm going higher. And so these things keep changing. Okay. I know how to use Excel. Really? Why don't you learn how to use Access? Now you're going deeper. It's becoming more complicated. Okay, I can do that. Do you even know how to create Google Sheets? Another set of skills. So you keep acquiring skills, and as you're acquiring those skills, you'll be upscaling it. Upscaling means that you keep growing it, improving it, coming up to date, adding other things to it beyond what you knew before. You keep adding, and that is the kind of job market that we are in. That's the behavior. It requires consistent upskilling and upscaling. Why? Like I said, there are influencers. The markets, the economic indicators in every country changes the job market. Industry trends changes the job market. Technological advancements, it changes the job market. Nowadays, if you want to hire someone, you want to first of all find out that how good are they with doing virtual meetings and online meetings, because everybody has online meetings now. And how good are they with working from home? Are they able to work on their own? Are they able to work with minimal supervision? Can you see it's changing the dynamics of the job market? Something that didn't really matter before is beginning to matter now because things are evolving, things are changing. And many times these employers they actually evolve these things because they want to leverage, they want to have competitive advantage. And that's part of the reason why they need to go into different areas. And the only people who can meet it, they come and put their request, their demand on the job market. And that keeps changing and evolving the job market. I think I can move on now. I've been able to emphasize again and again why that is important. Now, so I've been asked to speak about this, but I also need you to understand that, in as much as I've said that the job market, is dynamic, it's constantly evolving, things are constantly changing, the need to keep upskilling and upscaling, there's a need that has to be met, which is why I actually believe, I was telling Folake the other day that people need to take note of something. There are jobs in Nigeria. I can categorically tell you that. The major challenge we who recruit we consultants have, is finding the right skill set to meet the needs that the business is trying to meet. Those needs have to be met with someone with a particular job profile. There's someone who can deliver on the job description that will deliver on that need. And so finding people with that job profile is usually the challenge. And we keep searching, you keep searching, and just can't find them. And so it's not that those jobs are there, but finding the right people to fit into those jobs is usually the challenge that we face. And for everybody in this room, there are different categories of people here. You might be newbies, you might be fresh. There's a need for you to understand that the job market can be navigated because it is a deliberate market. It's a market that was created, so it is deliberate. You can create yourself, just like the last speaker was speaking about branding. You can create yourself to meet the demand of the job market. And so I'm going to speak now about job market navigation. How do you navigate the job market? Because there's a need for you to be able to say, okay, I want to be able to do certain things. There are certain things that I need to achieve. It is important for you to know how to navigate the job market. So I'm going to speak into things. First thing that you need to do, you have to even understand the industry. Okay, so I first was down. Say, okay, fine, no. I want to go into the banking and finance industry. Okay, no problem. Oh, I read banking and finance in university. You read banking and finance in university. Good for you. But now you need to understand the industry. Okay, I have been working in the banking and finance industry for a while. Really? Have you checked certain things about it? First of all, you need to understand that industry. You need to understand it. You need to know what's in demand, what's in supply. And you also need to decide this particular job you are vying for, this particular job you are applying for, this particular job you would like to have, this particular job you would like to fit into, or this job you are trying to aspire for. Is it a job or a career? You need to ask yourself that question, because that is what will guide you on how you will navigate the job market. So let me even help you to understand. And then the next thing is compensation and benefits. Let me even help you to understand the difference between a job and a career. A job is just an employment. I got a job, I get paid at the end of the month. There's no particular commitment or anything. I just go to work. I do what I'm given to do, and I leave. I collect my salary at the end of the month. I can give you a typical example of some people who do that. Okay, a typical example, like not because no, I'm just using them as an example, like security guards. The difference between a job and a career is when you meet a security guard who believes that what he's currently doing is a career path into security management. Because security management is a fantastic profession and a very, very lucrative and lifelong profession. But there are many people who are doing that work now, who have employment as security guards, who for them it's only a job. It's not a career. They just go in, they earn an income. And so if you're here in this room, you need to take note. What you are currently doing now, is it a job or is it a career? If it's a career, your attitude towards it will be completely different to what you're doing now. How you see it, how you carry yourself, how you brand yourself will be completely different, because that is necessary and it is critical. You can say I put compensation and benefits there. You can say I put it at the bottom. I see so many young people coming to the job market and they're already dictating how much they want to earn. Nothing wrong with that, but I want to ask you, what value are you bringing? How well are you coming to meet that need? If you can really meet that need and surpass it, fantastic. But please don't go into compensation and benefits yet. Why don't you deal with the upper part? Understand the industry. What's in demand? What's in supply? Is this job for you? This employment? Is this employment for you a job or a career? Those are questions that you need to answer. And I hope someone is noting these things down. I'm going to move on. So how do we navigate? We've said that we've spoken about, understand the industry, do information gathering, whatever the industry that you decide. Look, you can hear me saying you can actually decide. It is possible. Please, I want you to have an open mind because I know it is possible. I've been there long enough to know that. And I can tell you that first thing you have to do, you do your information gathering. Understand the work environment and industry that you're about to enter into or that you're currently in. How well? For those of us who are here, who are already working, we are experienced people, we already have work experience. The question I want to ask you, how well do you know the industry where you are in? Are you up to date? What do you know? Is your information accurate? Is it recent? Gather information. Whether you're a newcomer or you're an expert, whatever the industry you want to go into, gather information. Know the demand in that industry. What are employers in that industry looking for? Remember, they are the one buying your skills. They are the one paying for your knowledge. They are the one paying for your experience. They are the one paying. They are the one who have come to make purchase in the job market. What do they want? What are they looking for? You must I'll give you another example, a case scenario. You must have noticed that almost every job now, everybody has to be an IT person. No matter the job that you are doing, you have to be an IT person. You heard I said that people who even cook in the kitchen have IT skills. They have social media platforms, they are making food, they are filming, they are recording, they are posting online. So you need to find out. So the industry where you are, what are the buyers looking for? What are they demanding for? One of the things I've observed nowadays is that another thing, my observation from the job market is that employers are looking for someone who can meet their need but can do other things too. So don't come and say, okay, I was only hired to do front office work. So I'm just supposed to receive people. When they come, I say, hello, good afternoon. I take your name, I take your number. No, you should be able to do more than that. You're expected to go above and beyond. Don't say, it's only HR they told me to come and do now. What's my business with finance? Well, I don't need to get myself involved in finance. What's my business with accounting? That doesn't concern me. Hey, the more you know more about finance, the more you will understand about staff budgets. You're already moving to another level. You're already upskilling and upscaling yourself. By the time you go into the financial part of HR, you're already upskilling and upscaling yourself. These are the kind of things that employers are looking for, people who are multi-skilled and able to do what they've been hired to do, but an additional topping on top. That's just how it is. That's the job market. And so that's why I've already said it before here, that you need to decide your current employment or the employment you are vying for. Is it a job or is it a career? Especially in the environment where we are in now. Is it a job for you? A job is just, it's a job because it's a paid employment. It's temporary. You just collect your salary and you move on. Fine. Is it a career? If it's a career, it's an occupation, it's a profession, it's a lifelong experience. It requires growth, it requires movement. So the question I'm asking you now is, what is it for you? You need to be able to make up your mind, make that decision. Please, I put a light bulb here because I want oh my. I didn't know I've been speaking for so long. Okay, so I put the light bulb here because I want you to note it down. What are the things that you should start changing? Things that you used to do before that you really need to change. Let me move on. In your navigation, you need to take note that because there's a supply, there's a demand. I've already said before that there's a demand, there's a need that has to be met. But you see, as they've gone to the market, there's a supply. Okay, so we are looking for data analysts. There's a supply of data analysts already. Well, they say, but I've already done a data analyst course. Okay, so why don't you do a personal assessment of yourself? Whatever the job you are looking for, do a personal assessment of yourself and grade yourself according to the market supply grid. Because let me give you a typical example. Just like in the labor, in every other market, they hire the demand. the higher the price. And if the lower the supply, when the supply is minimal, you see that the price will be higher. So a typical example is the medical industry. There's a huge demand for medical doctors, but how many medical doctors are in supply? That's the reason why their value will keep appreciating. The price of doctors is very high because the people providing that service are not many. So whatever it is that you want to do, please conduct a personal assessment. Make sure you're asking yourself, so what and what exactly do I need to do? What am I lacking? Do a personal assessment based on this industry that I'm going into, based on this job function that I'm vying for, based on this need that I'm going to meet. What are the requirements? What is the employer demanding? What are the employers in that industry requesting for? How can I meet up with it? What level am I on? Okay, now I know what level I'm on. How do I upskill? How do I upskill myself? How do I stand out from the crowd? How do I get in? I've put in there, I've spoken about newbies. If you're a newbie, you need practice, you need experience. Please stop saying that, why is it that all these employers, they'll be telling us that we must have work experience. We must have, excuse me, to be able to meet that need, you need the experience to be able to meet it. You don't have the work experience, beautiful, go for internships. The industry where you want to work, go, right? Say, okay, please, can I come and intern? I will come and do it free. Offer free labor. You know why? Because you need practice. You need experience. Offer it. Of course, enroll in courses. Thank God for Google Training School. There's so many courses. There's Coursera, there's Udemy. There's so many online training schools that offer free services. Even right now, the training room you're in now is providing free services for you. Acquire skills. Go there, gather the skills that you need to fit into that industry to meet the need in the job market that you want to enter into. If you're a skilled hand, please network. If you're already a skilled person, you are in the industry already, network, attend seminars, go for professional workshops, meet people, upskill, certify your skills. You already have skills in that industry. You've been in that industry for a while. You've been doing for things. Go and certify your work experience. There are many certifications in your industry. Go and get it. You need it. You need to acquire new skills. You must be prepared. You must be ready. You must be agile because the marketplace won't wait for you. I can see I've been said, my time is almost up. I just want to say this finally. There's a need for you to have the right attitude and the right disposition. You need to keep upskilling. You must be an avid learner. You must monitor industry trends, adapt and align. Don't even let it pass you by without your knowing. You must develop transferable skills. Let me tell you what transferable skills are. Transferable skills are the skills you can use on any job you are doing. Being able to use Microsoft Word, being able to use Microsoft Suite, being able to use a computer is a transferable skill. Bring it in, acquire it, skills that you can use on any job. Go to your office, workplace, go to them and say, okay, please, can you give me additional responsibility? Apart from what I'm currently doing now, I would like to do more. Can you give me more? Please try and do that. It will put you on a different level. You can chart a course of a career growth from where you are now to where you want to be. It's all in your hands. You can put it all together. My conclusion is this: your career can be deliberately charted. The job market can be successfully navigated. It is about being deliberate. It requires a lifestyle of learning, constant growth. Constant growth. You have to keep working on yourself so that you can now have the life satisfaction part as well as the compensation and benefits that comes with it. You can say I mentioned money last. It's not first. It comes later, even as you upskill and become more and more relevant in the job market. Thank you very much. I think I exceeded my time by 6 minutes. Hello, Israel. Are you there? So I would like to go to Q&A, but I'm sure they have plans for me. Israel, are you there? Hello, Israel. Hello, Israel.
We're here with you. Definitely.
Okay,
Wow.
okay. Okay.
That was amazing. I was writing backstage and I said, that's so deep. Your session was so deep, so deep. It took us to many places. And this is a good time for the people in the comment section. Please, can you show Tomi Oni some love for such an amazing session? Whether you're a newbie, I like the way you use that word newbie. So I'm going to swap fresh graduates for newbie because he actually just fits the part. Whether you're a newbie, a mid-level executive, or you're a senior management level person watching us, can we show her some mad love and appreciation for such a connecting? Thank you, Tomi. Please drop your questions very quickly. There are some things that she said that were quite thought-provoking. And this will be a good time to just drop your comments, your contributions in the chat room so we can harvest it for the panel session. Tomi, you stay backstage with us as we round up and we come back to the panel sessions and we can take your questions. Thank you so much. Wow. So quickly in the chat room before we continue, I need you to write in one word, how is it been so far for you? For me, it's thought-provoking. There are certain things I've heard today, I've always known as a professional, but it has provoked a deeper level of thought. Type quickly whether you're watching us on YouTube, whether you're watching us on Facebook, whether you're watching us on Instagram. Type in the chat room in one word, how is the summit going for you? And if you are in this live stream, you are yet to share it. Why now? I don't like to shout. I don't like what I don't like. You are getting value. And one of the key things that gives you career acceleration is visibility. You are here, you are not interacting. You are just looking. Is that how they are going to know you? I was saying earlier today, I've never been out of a job. I don't look for jobs. Jobs look for me until I decided to start my own organization. I don't. And that's not to make anyone feel a certain kind of way. It's to inspire you to the possibilities that are available for you. I've been the chief executive officer for CatSync for 18 years, and I'm still getting job offers. And I'm like, what is it? Haven't you done enough? I work for myself now. I can't work for you. However, I service retainer clients with my expertise, even as a CEO. That's another area we're going to explore. How do you get multiple streams of income as a professional? Is it possible? Yes, it is. People in other clients have as much as 2-3 jobs, which comes with its own negative side because there's no work-life balance. However, this summit is packed full. So if you are yet to register, drop your CV. You get why? Whether you're in Nigeria, you're watching us from Abidjan, you're watching us from Ghana, you're from Togo, from Benin, from the UK, the US, Canada. We have people watching us from everywhere. If you have not introduced yourself on this live stream, drop your name, where you're joining us from, and what you do, who you are, your quick elevator pitch. Another sneak peek into what is going down shortly. Another thing before we continue, if you are yet to like and subscribe to this channel, then you're not doing well because there's too much information for you on the channel even after the summit is over. So subscribe, like, as we go into the next session for today, which is a short break. So we're going to be taking you through a video during the short break. Make sure you take a bathroom break, get your water, stay hydrated, and enjoy. We'll be back. Stay with us. Is it playing online?
You can just do that video.
Okay, to play, to play. Play, to play, to play. Did you press something? Emmanuel, it's meant to play by itself.
Put me back on the big screen. Hello, everyone. Welcome back from that short break. I'm sure you have gotten a lot of value already. I have my notes full. I have been writing, I have been asking questions, I've been noting down things that I intend to do moving forward from today. And I'm sure you're getting a lot of value as well. I've been reading through the live feed and I see a lot of comments that have, beyond words, made my heart truly glad. We're proud of this brand. We're excited to be a part of it, and we cannot wait to hear your testimonials immediately following after each of the sessions. I implore you to please make sure you put to practice everything you have heard, everything you have learned. Make sure you apply them, and please don't keep this to yourself. Share the link with someone you love. Tell them it's really happening live in here at the Career Acceleration Summit. Bring them in and make sure that you drag them in if possible. In fact, send them data fee or send them funds to get data, do data transfer to them, whatever you need to do to get them in the room to ensure that they get value. Please make sure you do that. I see a lot of people joining from across the world. Thank you so much for joining us once again. We apologize for the technical glitch we had earlier on during the short break. The technical team, the media team is working on that, and we're sure that we will bring back that session in the course of the event as we progress. I'm sure you are ready for the next speaker. Our next speaker is someone who I am very, very, very proud and inspired by her journey. I had a short conversation with her a few minutes ago, and I told her how inspiring our journey has been. She's someone who has been able to create an out-of-the-box career. She has been able to build and find our own path. And in doing that, she has also had the privilege and blessing of leading and inspiring other people to do the same. I'm talking about none else than Mrs. Khadijat Fashina. She'll be talking to us today about building an out-of-the-box career, finding the courage to create your own path. Who says you have to work for someone? Who says you are not the next Elon Musk or the next, give me the names in the chat room. Who says you can be the next multi-billionaire springing out of Nigeria and making us proud? Just recently, we celebrated the launch and the grand opening of the refinery, Dangote refinery in Lagos. A man dared to dream. And I'm sure we have a lot of dreamers in the room today who are ready to take the next step in their career and to build on what they've done over the years to take their journey to the next level. So today we're blessed, and we have live in the studio with us Mrs. Khadijat Fashina. I will read our profile to you shortly, and the next voice you're going to hear after that will be that of our facilitator. Please get your writing materials. Make sure you note things down so you can take things away, like Just Trufoni will always say. I'll read a profile very quickly. Khadijat Fashina is the Rector CEO of Masterminds Catering and Culinary Institute, Abuja, FCT, in the city of Abuja, FCT, a place of learning devoted to filling the skills gap in the hospitality and tourism sector. She has a mandate to build human capacity to harness the various opportunities available in the sector, with emphasis on quality assured certification and youth empowerment. Ladies and gentlemen, please make it rain in the live chat room for our in-house facilitator who has joined us on set graciously, the one, the only, the beautiful, the intelligent, the delectable, Mrs. Khadijat Fashina. Please put your hands together and make it really, really loud for our facilitator. Please take it away, man. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? I'm really humbled, and I feel very, how do you say it? I'm really overwhelmed to be here today, to be able to live one of my life purpose of influencing people into achieving their life dreams. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about building an out-of-the-box career and finding the courage to create your path. We'll be talking about the concept of the out-of-the-box career, the role of self-awareness in purpose discovery. How do you build resilience to overcome self-sabotage and achieve successful outcomes? And the role of courage, creativity, and innovation in career development, and I'll be leaving with you with practical steps to create your own path. So we'll first go to what's an out of the box career? As an educationist, I deal with words and their meanings a lot. So I'll just do this by dividing the words out of the box and career. To define what's out of the box. Simply, out of the box simply means moving away from the norm. A box is built for containing. You as a person cannot be contained. It's the art of creative living. I asked the convener of this summit a few minutes ago, what's the meaning of out of the box really? And she told me in Yoruba, box, we had a good laugh. We really had a good laugh about it. It's a career you bring out of the gifts, the talents, the skills, the experiences, and knowledge that you've gleaned from every aspect of life. It does not have a name. You put a name on it yourself. It's really about finding the courage to create your own path. Having said this, I always like to tell people how it is from giving a little bit of myself. So give you a bit of a background history of myself. My name is Khadijat Fashina. I'm director and CEO of Masterminds Catering and Culinary Institute, which is a tertiary vocational enterprise with a niche to train to national diploma level. We're accredited by the National Board for Technical Education in the hospitality and tourism space. So how did I get to this out-of-box career? I'm the firstborn, first grandchild, and first great-grandchild of my family. I was born in 1973. We were an average middle-class family. My dad was an officer in the military. My mom was a home manager. She was a very hard worker, and so was he. She didn't believe in cutting corners, which meant we picked and chopped pepper with our hands, even though we had a blender. We cut grass with cutlass, even though we had a lawnmower. We killed and dressed chicken, even though it was possible to have done it in the market. Such was my upbringing. My parents didn't go to university. My grandparents didn't go, and neither did my great-grandparents. So I was the golden child. I was a front runner, and that meant that I only had 4 professions to pick from. Is either I became a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, or an accountant. I hated physics in school because I hated my teacher. So that was out of it. I couldn't become a doctor because I was scared of blood. I was a very shy teenager, so I couldn't become a lawyer. But it turns out that was a lie. It was only because my parents, I didn't know myself, and my parents apparently too didn't know me that well, because I can talk for Nigeria now. I think I would have made a very good lawyer. So that left me with accountancy. So I ended up being an accountant, a job I disliked within 3 months of starting work, but I stayed on because of the good salary and, of course, what will people say? It was so monotonous. I needed zero creativity. Innovation was not really welcome. You know, you're serving bosses there. And there was no room for intellectual growth for me. There was no stimulation. So luckily for me, I loved reading and I loved cooking. I whiled away the first 10 years of my working life trying to get ahead in this field, climbing up the proverbial ladder by doing a master's degree in business administration and becoming a chartered accountant. In the meantime, I made delicious food for my family and friends. But when I got past the age of 30, I started getting bored and unfulfilled seriously at my job. So I started looking for a way to get out of my job, which at this point I'd stayed in for 10 years without promotion. But you will not believe, that same year, that 10th year, was when I got my first promotion. It was a double promotion, so I stayed on for a longer time. It was a government job and the salary and the benefits were good. But I came across a really good book. I was a reader, I'm an avid reader, called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. which was a book on gaining financial freedom. It was a big word in about 20 years ago. I recommend that everyone here should grab a copy of that book and read it at least 3 times. It got me on track on learning how to build wealth. I started saving. I started investing in real estate, buying stocks and bonds. It was a good money, but I didn't leave my job. Ask me why. Fear of the unknown, fear of leaving my comfort zone. But did you notice with my background, did you notice what my background of training in accounting and economics did for me? I was easily able to understand the concept of creating wealth because I'd been taught in school the concepts of labor, capital, land, and entrepreneurship. I had a good grasp of how to save, how to spend, how to give in charity, and how to invest. So just from being an accountant that I didn't like, I became a venture capitalist. I became a stock market player and an analyst because people were calling me at that time to tell them what stocks to buy. I became a real estate developer. All of these I've listed out of a career that I didn't like. So you should never despise the days of humble beginnings. After 17 years of working as an accountant, I quit to become an amateur restaurant owner and an event planner. I was able to wing it due to my training from my parents, who ingrained in me the value of humility, hard work, and prudence, and of course, my higher education. The challenge I faced was that of getting qualified human resource as the owner of a restaurant. Every staff I got will tell me that they were chefs, but they couldn't cook jack or even plan anything. But since I didn't have a yardstick to assess them, I started training them with the little that I knew from my experience. And as soon as they were good enough, they left. It was a painful experience, but this experience had a silver lining. People started asking me to train for them, and that brought the idea of a cookery school. Since I'm a dreamer, I can dream for Nigeria. I felt ill-equipped to do this. Why? Because the imposter syndrome, something called the imposter syndrome set in. And I decided it's a form of fear, just feeling that you're not good enough. I know that a lot of young people in this space feel that fear, but it's okay, feel it, because that's what propelled me into going to train professionally as a chef. I had the opportunity to grab abroad. I told you that I've already made some money at this time. And this opened my eyes to all the possibilities embedded in the food business and all what Nigerian youth were even missing from not knowing what I knew. So I was fired up to share this knowledge. Going there opened my eyes to see what a standard world-class cookery school could look like. I wanted government, they had government-backed accreditation, so I wanted it for myself. It turns out in Nigeria that the culinary arts curriculum was embedded in hospitality and tourism curriculum. So which led me again because I wanted this so badly. So it's what you want. Led me to doing a master's in international hospitality and tourism. Luckily, I like reading. So today I facilitate training for the hospitality and tourism sector. I'm a trainer myself. I consult for startups in hospitality. I curate menus for restaurants. I do cooking TV shows. I'm a judge in cooking competitions. I'm trained as an internal quality assurance manager for vocational education. I get called to educational boards to curate curriculum for learning. I do outdoor and corporate catering. I conceptualize, plan, and execute events. and I serve as the most senior officer in a government-approved higher institution in Nigeria, which is now metamorphosizing into a polytechnic in the nearest future. Well, that's a lot, isn't it? I intend to retire as a food stylist and photographer and a movie director, depending on the environment I find myself. I mean, due to my learnings in tourism, I've climbed Kilimanjaro this year, and who knows, maybe I would become a tour guide very soon. So just out of the becoming a chef, these are just a few out of the box career that came out of my training. The truth is that we tend to limit ourselves due to lack of knowledge and courage to leave our comfort zone. The societal attachment that we have to titles is what keeps us there. I remember, because now I've listed out close to 10 competencies that I have, and I don't think anybody can put a title on them. So I remember, when the first time about maybe 10 years ago, when I met someone and he told me he was a content creator. What was that? I just put him in a box of NFA. That's no future ambition, just because I didn't understand what he does. So I can imagine what box people put me in now. As long as you can define what you do and it adds value, forget the title. There are no best out-of-box careers. Recently, I was in a dance class and I met an architect who is one of the best landscape designers in Abuja. And she recently opened a huge pottery shop. The best cake designers I know are architects, just because of their knowledge of architecture. I recently met a doctor who does tourism as his well-being program, which he sells only to the elites in the society. They call it med spa these days. I've met an engineer who works from his backyard, making only bolts, nuts, and screws for heavy machinery in industries. So, literally, all forms of training have an out-of-the-box career. Now, I'll leave you with the keys to discovering this out-of-the-box career. It's about making a commitment to being a lifelong learner. I heard the last speaker talk about becoming a lifelong learner, and that's what you have to become. Becoming a solution provider. How to make money? I heard it from Dangote. Is being in the business of many. How many people can you serve? You have to be open-minded. Open-minded meaning no judgments. Just let whatever information come in and apply the rule of finding out, is it the truth? Does it add value to you? Does it add value to other people? Once you can determine that, you go for it. Remaining teachable, yet humble. Now, this is where I find, as an employer, what makes this generation, this present generation, and my children are in that generation. So if I do speak for all for them, for us on this side of the fence, employers, is that arrogance. It's an arrogance that comes out of the feeling of I know. Yes, you can know, but you must always remain humble so that you can allow new learnings to come in. And of course, continuously pursuing excellence, always trying to look for a way to make things better. Can we go to the next slide, please? Can I have the next slide, please? Okay, no, not this, not this. Okay, so now we go on to the role of self-awareness in purpose discovery. So having come into the space of the food and the tourism and the hospitality business, brought me into finding out more about myself. When I transitioned into being a restaurant owner, and that's when I knew that I had come alive. What I knew then could not take me to where I was going. So I needed to do something different. You see, that author of that book I told you, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, he also had another book called How to Quit Your Job. His advice was what I had to work on. He asked us to journal our expenses over 6 months. So if you're looking to quit your job, this is what you must do. He asked us to journal our expenses over 6 months and divide them into weekly, monthly, quarterly, and annual expenses. Then save double that. Look for your passion and then invest half of your savings and live on the other half. Did you get that? So you have to save what you would use annually. You would have to save double of it. Look for your passion, then use half of that money to invest in your passion and then live on the other half. This was where the problem was. I had no idea what my passion was. I knew I loved to cook, and people always came to me to help them plan events. Till tomorrow, I'm the only one I know who plans fun in their to-do list. So that's how I got from my in-box job to my out-of-box job. I started a fast food restaurant which had an event space. Please listen though. Listen. I stayed on my job for the next 2 years because I had not saved up what I spent in 1 year. I did not leave. I needed to make that money because that's the mistake a lot of people do. These days of, I can do it, and listening to everything that is going on the internet. You don't live in America, you live in Nigeria. There is no social security in Nigeria. So the social security that you have is the money that you put in your bank. So don't go thinking, oh, somebody is coming to save you. As Mel Robbins says, nobody is coming to save you. Nobody is coming. You have to put that in your head. Nobody is coming. I even tell my children, nobody is coming. So you're on your own. So I did that till I was able to let go of the fear of failure. I knew that even if I failed, I will have something to back up. I'll tell you a fact. You never lose a fear of failure. You just stare that failure in the face. You ask yourself, what's the worst case scenario? You write them down. Write down what you will do if these fears become real, like lose your job, like the business didn't work out. If you can handle it, go ahead. If not, stay in place until you can figure it out. So this led me to a place of an adventure of discovering myself through self-awareness. Ladies and gentlemen, if you do not discover who you are, you cannot become who you want to be. As my grandmother always says of blessed memory, you go nowhere. I started reading about passion, which in layman's language is what you're naturally good at. And it fills you with excitement. So you must be naturally good about it. It must fill you with excitement. And you will do it if there's no money in the picture. So for me, it was cooking and planning events. But believe me, that's just scratching the surface. There's so much more. The truth is just that this discovery set me free to leave my job. There is so much to us that meets the eye. You're a sum total of your environment: physical, social, spiritual, psychological. You need to go far back in time as to a time when you were even conceived. If it's possible to ask your mother, ask her the circumstances in which you were conceived. To fully understand what makes you tick, you have to become like an onion. I became like an onion, discovering my beliefs, which had come out of what I'd seen, what I'd heard, what I'd touched, tasted, my memories, my experiences since I was born, which shaped the values with which I live my life. These values you can easily find out by filling a values finder questionnaire. There's loads of values finder questionnaires online. The only requirement is that you are brutally honest with yourself. I discovered what made me tick as a person. If there were, if these values were not present, if you don't find out these values and they are not constantly present in your life, you will constantly be on the path of struggle. And guess what mine were? There were faith, there were learning, there were leadership, there was adventure. Those were my first 5 core values: faith, learning, leadership, adventure, and appreciation. So you see why I struggled with being an accountant. These days, 24 hours is not enough to do my job. This made me fine-tune my weaknesses and strengths. I was able to make decisions faster and more accurately. I was able to find people who made me better and made me feel better. Now, I constantly question myself and pay close attention to my thoughts, my words, my feelings and actions, and ultimately the results I'm getting. I take full responsibility for my results by minding my own business. So this is how you know what your purpose, your passion is. You start minding your own business. If you believe you can, you're right. If you believe you can't, you're also right. Success has a process that is unique to each and every one of us, and as unique as our DNA. One of the greatest advice I can give you for free is that you must mind your own business. Self-awareness is the ultimate in discovering your personal success code. Is discovering yourself, and that, so that we are able to self-direct towards the purpose for which we are created. And also manage ourselves to move in an area of greater success. So this brings me to how do you to getting into how to set goals towards achieving a purpose with a clear vision. This is what makes you a leader. What makes better leaders is the knowledge of self. Then you will become an expert on you, and you'll be able to crack your success code at any given time. I'm going to leave you with a video on exactly how do you discover what is called purpose. I'd like you to listen to this video with an open mind. Okay. Are we there? Oh, so we're having a bit of a problem with that video. So I'd like you to just go back and watch that video, because it would really help you fine tune what your passion is. I'd really like you to go back to watch that video with an open mind, because I know that the person who is speaking has been in the media eye with a lot of backlash. But I want you to, in every situation you find yourself, you always find what's the silver lining. And I find that person in particular very inspiring to listen to every time I listen to her. So I really like you to go back and listen to that video and take the nuggets for how you can find out what your passion is and how to achieve your purpose. But let me make a caveat, because I know that one or two words came out. She was able to start big because she had the capacity, she had the financial knowledge, and she had the network. She learned and built that organically over time. I am not advising anybody who is starting out to do that. You see that the problem we're having is that you see someone who's made and automatically you want to have what they had. She didn't even leave her job till she was 40, and that meant her kids were out of secondary school already. So I would implore you to start small. The smaller you are, the smaller your mistakes. The bigger you are, the bigger your mistakes. So don't copy people. Blaze your own trail. I'm really excited for me about what life is taking me now. I've discovered my purpose of being a person who influences people from all walks of life to achieving a productive path in the field of hospitality and tourism business in a manner that attains the pleasure of God. This is totally liberating. It gives me butterflies in my belly. There was one man who even came on Opera Show, some Gustav guy, I can't remember his name now. And he says that for you to achieve flow, which is ease, is when your personality comes to serve the purpose of your soul. That was totally mind-bending for me. Next slide, please. The next slide, we're going to be talking about how do you build resilience to overcome self-sabotage and achieve successful outcomes. This is where that Burna Boy song comes to mind. I don't know whether you know it. Last, he don't cast. Now everybody go chop breakfast. His only mistake was saying people to shy you. If you shy you and you wake up, the problem will still be waiting for you. Then you shy you again. There is an adage by the Englishman saying that the meaning of insanity is one who does things the same way and expects a different result. You are not mad. Say to yourself, I am not mad. Shayo is not the answer. According to the law of duality, whatever that goes up must come down. Big, the opposite of big is small. It must happen. When something was big, it will become small. If it was small, it will become big. If you are happy, you become sad. If you are sad, you become happy. If you fail, you fail, you can become successful. If you are successful, you can fail again. So this knowledge of self is so essential for us to rise from adversity, failures, and challenges in life. It is not in failing that we lose. It is in staying in the sorry state that we lose completely. The first step to overcoming failure is to take full responsibility when things don't go our way. When we blame and complain to others, we stay in the victim state. And this robs us of the insight of getting to solve our challenges by blinding us to the tools that we even already have to rise again. The battle we have to wage constantly is that of self-sabotage. You will keep failing to get your desired outcomes until you do things differently by being true to yourself. You must inculcate the value of discipline in all you do to honor time and honor yourself and honor your creator. Discipline is honoring time, honoring yourself, and honoring your creator. We are co-creators. There is no faith without work. Faith is a verb, not a noun. Working is faith in action. Yes, the future is dark, but that darkness can only clear when you take a step. Everybody has their own journey in life. In fact, I like to say that we are actors in the movie of our life. We have our own individual scripts. You are the principal actor in your own. Now, this is where I see a lot of people get it wrong. They compare themselves to others and start acting another person's script, which derails them from getting to their own destination and achieving their own dreams as aspiration. The worst of all is that when people discover their mistakes, instead of changing direction, they go on the path of giving up. God does not give up on you. So why should you give up on yourself? The greatest strength you have is to believe in yourself and love yourself. No matter how bad things are, you must hold on to this strength, as is the starting point for everything. Me, I've chopped a lot of breakfasts. From the age of 10, my balloon will burst. I will go in the freezer. I will see a bowl of ice cream. When I open it, it will be a goosey soup. When I ask my mom will say, is there every day that is Christmas? When you finish an exam paper, you've read though, then you are thinking, I've got an A. Then you now come out with a C6. A mere let my people go. Then before the heartbreak of unrequited love, then you experience betrayal of friends who steal your money, your time, and worst of all, your ideas. And then they make money with that idea, and they expect you to be their cheerleader. I'm the one who went to, and guess what? I'm the one who went and brought out savings to start business because I saw someone doing it. As you're looking at me, I've been named Werua before. I've sold cosmetics before. I've done pure water and other water before. Do you understand? Because I saw people making a lot of money. So I chopped breakfast. This is where we come to the door of self-sabotage. What if I told you I was responsible for all these hurts that I've encountered? I'm the one who made myself a victim by my lack of knowledge, my lack of patience, and my lack of wisdom. And the problem is high expectations from other humans like myself. So you need to constantly tell yourself the truth. Whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger. All these experiences are here to make us stronger, to help us withstand, get a higher level of power and strength within myself. I liberated myself from the point of correction. No, I didn't liberate myself. I'm liberating myself from self-sabotage by being in a constant place of preparedness against my weakness. The greatest for everyone here, which I can tell you from being a first-class culprit, is procrastination. And it comes from a place of arrogance and laziness. The cure for it is discipline, decisiveness, and humility. There's a voice inside you. It's called the inner voice. As children, we always ask, where is God? He's inside you. We are so concerned with the outside noise, minding other people's business, that we don't have time to listen to ourselves. And if you keep saying in your mouth, I'm going to be a billionaire, and I'm going to be a millionaire, and you cannot feel that I'm going to be a millionaire in your heart, you cannot become a millionaire. It must align. Okay? So the greatest tools to getting to being able to surmount this self-sabotage is be still. Be still and know that I am God. I'm sure I'm beginning to sound like a pastor now, but no, I even practice the Islamic faith. So knowledge, so self-awareness is your greatest tool in life. Knowledge is light. Integrity, loyalty, and kindness are currency you can spend when money is gone. You must always start with you. When trials come, you must find a way to forgive yourself for the mistakes you've made. Even Dangote failed with his tomato processing plant. He bought all the tomatoes in Nigeria. The storage was faulty and the tomatoes spoiled. I mean, I'm not saying that, I'm feeling sorry for him, but the truth is just that yours will not be the last. You must allow the pain and feel the shame, but don't keep it a secret, because in keeping it a secret that it festers. Find someone to talk to, even if it's a stranger. Stop using bad language on yourself. Advise yourself as you would advise a best friend. Stop blaming others. It's a waste of time and energy and puts you in an unresourceful state. Be humble and start again. There are no endings, only new beginnings. So in this, can we change the slide, please? So how do we build courage and creativity and innovation in career? I'd like to use the life cycle of the butterfly. Now, the butterfly, is like, it's the best, is the greatest pollinator of flowers, and it helps plants germinate and for them to flourish and grow. Most people just see butterflies, but you don't know exactly what they do. I attune our lives to, I compare our lives to that lifestyle of a butterfly. I love them so much. I connect with them, and I think this is also a way you can find out which animal you like the most. Sometimes it's a pointer to what your passions are. The butterfly has the eggs stage, which the female lays the eggs, and there are different sizes. Just like all human beings, we all look different. There's so much diversity. We are not the same. We're not the same person. Then it moves on to the larva stage, where it's a caterpillar, and it begins feeding. The first food is eggshells, which is like which represents our parents. From them we learn everything that we saw in our memory, what we were first fed. You start taking in so much data, and this is where the first place of fear usually starts from. It's at home, from traumas that we experience. The greatest gift a parent can give a child is self-confidence, and that is the gift of faith. Did you know that the opposite of fear is faith? So when afraid, bring in faith. It now depends on what you perceive as faith. Unfortunately, people have ascribed it to religion, which is only a subset of it. Faith means trusting yourself that things will work. It's being intentional about serving God and serving people. I hope you're making the connections to what I said earlier about making more money by serving more people. We talked earlier about the butterfly coming to the larva stage. At this stage, we now transition into the pupa stage of the butterfly. Here we go through tremendous change. We develop wings, legs, eyes. This process is called metamorphosis. It's actually a very difficult period because the butterfly tends to even eat its own flesh if it can't find food to eat. This is where the value of courage comes in. Courage is the ability to see obstacles and overcome them, simply put. It will give you wings to achieve your dreams. This is the stage where a lot of young school leavers are. You have to be really careful at this stage to find your faith, find yourself. This will give you courage to go after your dreams. Be careful what you put inside you at this time, physically, spiritually, and psychologically. Check what you are putting in your on your six senses. You're seeing, you're hearing, you're tasting, you're smelling, the feeling in your body. Did you know that we have 3 seats of intelligence to make choices? Your heart, your head, and your stomach. Check with all these 3 when making decisions. Then you will be in alignment with your purpose. You will be able to identify your skills, gifts, and talents, and be able to create your own path. You become a creative. This is an ability everyone can aspire to, depending on the choices they make in life. Then the butterfly moves into the adult stage, crawls out of the pupa case, and gives itself time to get stronger. It dries its wings before it flies off. It learns how to pollinate plants. Now, how do you become a butterfly that makes the most impact? Is by leveraging on your gifts, talents, and knowledge to constantly making things better by pursuing excellence. This is the ability to innovate. It's breathing new life into anything you do. Then you will get the butterfly effect. We all know the world is deeply connected. A small occurrence in one part will affect the much larger complex system. We know what we see with what the iPhones have done, the Alibaba has done, Jeff Bezos of Amazon has done. On the other side, and we see that they are positive, they create jobs, they bring about creativity. On the other hand, they bring about making more money. On the other hand, we can see the effects of dumping chemicals in the sea, the flaring of gas, and the creation of the atomic bomb and weapons of mass destruction, and what they've done in terms of climate change and world peace. You have to decide what kind of butterfly you want to be. This is where the value of courage, resilience, and resourcefulness comes in. You must have imagination and communication skills. Keep dreaming. Dreaming is free. Take time aside daily to visualize what you want. I've heard that the most bankrupt person is the person who can't buy what is free. Dreaming is free. Okay, so we've come to the end of this. I know that I overshoot my time, but I'd like to leave you with some practical steps that I took personally in creating this out of box job that I'm in. I've been creating, and every day I use it to blaze my own path. Number one, please, can you change the slide? Thank you. Okay, so find clues to discover your own passion. Find out what you love doing as a child. There's a clue. That's a clue to your passion. Take out your primary and secondary school report card and see what subjects you scored highest. For the next 1 week, journal what you spent the most money and time on. Those are your greatest resources. Keep a gratitude journal for 2 weeks. Then check what gave you the greatest joy and what you are constantly thankful for. That is what energizes you. Take a personality test. Write down your strengths and weaknesses. Do a SWOT analysis. That's a strengths, weakness, opportunities, and threats analysis of any decision you want to take. For example, many people want to jackpot, but they only know their strengths and weaknesses. They are not factoring in the opportunities and threats that are in the jackpot place. If you don't have money to start your passion, get a job and save the equivalent of what you will need for 1 year. When you have favorable outcomes in your activities from your actions, note the process with which you got there, because success has a process and it works every time. So if you apply it, it will work again. But we tend to overlook it, bringing religion into it and saying is God. God is inside you. So God is a God of process. Just look at nature. You will know what I'm talking about. So just paying attention to nature will confirm that for you. Make a commitment to becoming a lifelong learner. My coach, which is the convener of this, always says something: stagnant water stinks. Every time I come to a place of stagnation, I always think stagnant water stinks, stagnant water stinks, stagnant water stinks. So please, I want to put in your mind today, stagnant water stinks, stagnant water stinks. Don't stagnate, move, don't be stuck. You can, how can you do that? You can hire a coach. I'm a coach. On this platform, there's so many coaches. It's now almost viral in Nigeria for you to be coach. So you always find somebody who can take you on. Don't be ashamed of it. Everybody is going through something. So hire a coach if you can. Then read books. I've told you, read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I'll leave you with a few books to read. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. There's also a really good book that I read. It's called The Five Agreements. And one by John Maxwell. Very short book, but really effective. Make Today Count. I hope that with these few points of mine, you will be able to be on the path to creating your own out-of-the-box career. Thank you very much for listening. I hope this was impactful. God bless you.
Wow. Speechless, actually. Speechless. Please, can you hit the chat room for me? And to think you have not shared the live feed. What are you doing? Wow. Oh my God. I've coached people in this life. This one too much. Can we make it loud for Mrs. Khadijat Fashina? She has broken every glass ceiling in today's summit. She has broken every glass ceiling. I mean every glass ceiling. I don't know where to even start from. See, my notes are full. I don't know where to start from. Wow. 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 I think one of the ones that inspired me the most, for me, the big things are the little things, was when she said the best cake designers are actually architects. And I thought about my life. Currently, I have 14 streams of income. And I'm asking myself, what am I doing? What is it? I've not started, guys. What are you doing? If this has not inspired you, I don't know what will. Hello, too many highlights. How many people can you serve? Your service will determine how far your career acceleration arrives. Your service is important. Have faith in your service. You are a bottom level person. You are a middle level executive. You're a senior level management person. You are serving so hard, but you don't have faith that what you do counts. That's on you. That's not if you are not watching us from Nigeria, you might not understand this one. That's not your village people. That's on you. Your service counts. To make money, you need to be in the business of making money. You need to make money to make money. You need to serve to make money. You want to leave your job. You have not saved up twice your expenditure. Then you want to run after your dream child. Hello, what are we doing here? Then people say in Nigeria that it's hard to save. Recently, I read a book that blew my mind around savings. See, if you are not reading, did you see the number of books she gave us? If you are not reading, you can't accelerate. Hey, fire. If you are not reading, you can't accelerate. And he said the reason why people don't save is because of their ego. You need to buy everything to live a certain lifestyle so that people around you, you know that at the level you are, you can't afford to eat meat. It's okay to eat egg. You can't afford to drive a Ford Explorer. It's okay to drive your Toyota. Hello, guys. If your plan is saving, then it's your ego that is stopping you from saving, not the amount of money that you are making. Especially in this part of the world that there's so much black tax. Your family members are gathered waiting for you, and yet you want to accelerate your career. Too many things. I can't continue. We don't have time. You never lose your fear of failure. Like I always say, fail forward. It doesn't stop feeling as if you are going to fail, but that doesn't stop you from doing it anyway. Like, seriously. Please, I can go on forever. Just keep typing. Type that one punch line. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Type that one punch line that has blown your mind. And if you are yet to like this page and follow, you are not doing well. Please try quickly. Like the page, follow, because you need to be able to catch the replay of some of these videos. You can't hear it once. Hearing comes by listening constantly, because a lot of us are distracted right now. So make sure you stay here. Wow. We need to end today's session as we round up. We have a few questions and I'll be welcoming back on stage for the panel session to end session 1, day 1, Career Acceleration Summit, so that we can leave you to go have lunch, relax, refresh, load your phones, charge your phones, ready for the evening session by 5 o'clock. You can't be late. So let's jump straight into the panel session. Can the technical team take it off from here for a quick interlude, short one, as we welcome all of our previous speakers up on stage. Celebrate all of our speakers so far for the first session as they come up on stage. Over to you. Wow, that just made me smile. That was Upstart Business Retreat last year, 2023. But we always have our business retreats ahead of the next year. And it was your birthday that day.
It was.
How was the experience for you before we jump into the panel session? How was the business retreat?
It was life-changing.
And how has it impacted your year so far?
It was life-changing. I was able to break some ceilings. I was able to set aside some limiting beliefs. And I was able to lower my expectations of people.
That's a private joke, guys. We're not sharing. Why is that? What particular element of the Upstart retreat got you to lower your expectation around people?
My personality test.
Oh, your personality, that famous personality test.
When I discovered who I was, that was the problem. That was the issue.
Don't worry, we'll bore you with the details. It was quite insightful. If you've never taken a personality test before, please take it. Sometimes the enemy of your career is self. No village people involved. We're so quick to outsource to someone else, something metaphysical, what we don't understand about ourselves. Sometimes all you need to do is look in the mirror, see yourself, and make the adjustments.
Yeah,
wow.
Jackson was right. Eh?
Yeah, it was.
Looking at the
man in the mirror. Tomi, welcome on stage. I see you. How's it been so far for you? I know you've been here. Let's hear
I've
from
been
you.
laughing, you know, Mrs. Fashina,
before we
she's
hear
just,
from you-
hello, Mrs. Fashina, it's been a while.
Hi,
Good to
Madam
see you
Tomi, how are
again.
you?
Oh, you were at the Upstart retreat too. I
Yes,
remember.
was
Please share your
beside me.
experience.
It was mind blowing, and I really love the part where we had to put all our fares into a box and we bust it. So that issue about fear, we dealt with that. I love the part where they were even showing it just now, the part of the balloon, and you said we should dream, we should picture it, imagine it, whatever it is, put it in something, and that was it for me, honestly. Of course, the personality
Wow.
aspect, yeah, that was it for me. I bust something that day, and here I am.
Wow. I love it.
Here
I
I am.
love it. I love it. I love it so much. Thank you, both of you, for such amazing sessions today. We're still holding up for a few seconds to see whether Damola will join us. But having said that, our Upstart 2025 retreat is coming in December. So if you're a senior level executive, you are a middle level career person, you are an entrepreneur, we'll be giving you an irresistible offer tomorrow to register for the summit at a discounted fee. So if you want somebody to come to that summit with you, that retreat with you, December, and by the way, we're going to 2 cities this year. We're going to be loud in Lagos and very, very demure and put together in Abuja. We're going to be in Abuja and Lagos concurrently in December for our Upstart Business Retreat. We'll let you know more about that tomorrow so that you can register at a discounted rate and be in the room with other executives. We just gave you a short video. There are more videos that will give you an idea of the amount of brain work, mind work, soul work, spiritual work that goes on in the room to take you from where you are to where you need to be. I have a bit of questions, and while we're waiting for Damola, if you have questions for or contributions for, I have questions for you. Okay, I'm going to come to that, but let me take the questions that were sent for Tomi Oni. There were 2 questions sent for you, and it says, how do we certify our work skills? In your session, you mentioned that we need to certify our work skills. How do we certify our work skill? First question. Over to you, ma'am.
Okay, so for in every industry, there's a certification. What happens with a certification is that a certification actually puts your work experience and your background and what you know, and you are graded that how well do you know, and you are graded against the industry practice, the best practice in the industry. So whatever the industry where you are, you need to find out what certification that you're supposed to take. For the people who are doing accounting, and they do ICANN, they do ACCA. That is certifying their work experience. So that's why I don't understand when some people have not even had any experience and they're writing exams. What are you doing in the exam? You're just doing beso, meaning that you're cramming and you're pouring it back. It is the people who have had work experience that write those exams, because you'll be certifying your work experience. For HR people, there are several. There's Scrum, there's SPHR, there's our Nigerian
Yeah.
yes, CIPM. So there are different times, there are different certifications. Just check out, if you're a project management person, there is a course for project management people. I think that, yeah. So whatever the course or whatever what you've been doing, in fact, just use Google, type it in, whatever it is you've been doing. What are the certifications for it? If you are somebody that you're a process person, go and do Lean Sigma. I'm sure you must have heard that Lean Sigma before, Belt 1, Belt 2, Black Belt. So those things are there. It is what it does is that it takes your work experience, makes you sit down and you are assessed for it. Then they grade you against international standards. So if you pass it, you have become a certified professional in what you are doing. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much, Tomi. So I want to ask, yes, I'm going to give you the floor. But I have a second question to that question. And I've heard a lot of people ask me in their career journey, If you were going to pick, I have my own opinion about it, but I want to hear yours. If you were going to pick a master's immediately after school, which I particularly don't understand, because for you to master, you must be a master. That's my mindset. There must be a reason why you are mastering. You're already a master, then you master to master. That's my thoughts around it.
Exactly.
Would you pick an MBA, a master's, above a professional certification? Certifying your skills in the immediate, whatever you're doing or you desire, or doing a master's. What would be your pick? I've had too many people ask me.
Okay.
I'm curious.
If it's somebody who doesn't have work experience, if you don't have work experience, please go and get work experience. Just start from there. Yes, I will pick a certification of my work experience. It is in Nigeria. We believe in Bali. Sorry, apologies. We believe in certificates. It's in Nigeria that we do that. Abroad, they will look at your work experience. When you have a certification, the certification is saying that you are a professional at that work that you have been doing. That's just it. I will pick a certification over an MBA. I'll do an MBA later. I did an MBA when? When did I do an MBA? I did it much, much more later. Maybe like 5 or 6 years ago. So it wasn't, certifying your work experience is the matter, because what it does is that it puts you on a different platform. It shows that, look, truly, this person can do this work that they said they've been doing. That's what certification does. And then, yes, please, you've just finished university. Go and work first before you go and do masters. It's unfortunate. Yeah, the thing about it there is that, although there are some professions that if they don't do a master's degree, they don't think that they are serious. And I still don't know why it is that way.
You are a recruiter, Tomi. You are a recruiter. How many people who have masters come into your interview room and they are employable?
They're not.
I'm just asking.
I don't look at that.
I'm not shaking.
I don't use that to shortlist. And I work with clients, and I always tell them, they'll be telling me to put it in the job profile that a master's is an added advantage. I say, a master's in what? Don't come to me with your certifications, your degree. Come and prove to me that you actually went to school. Because a lot of education in Nigeria is crown, pour it down, and pass. And many people can't even use the information and the knowledge from school to do anything or to solve problems. There are problems, they can't solve problems.
Wow.
And they even use AI-generated CVs.
Please. Awesome. Thank you so much, Tomi.
Yeah, please.
Khadijat, thank you so much, Tomi.
Yeah,
can you hear me? Khadijat, you want to learn the voice to this?
The reason why people need certification is the certification shows that you have competence. If you've gone through the quality assurance process, internal quality assurance manager, you go through that's why vocational education is really, really important, because not only do you have the knowledge, but then you also are able to practice the skills, and you must even demonstrate this practice in the workspace to be judged competent before you're given the certification. So
there's a process.
So there's a process, and it's more viable. It's more viable than
I love that. Beyond that's for the vocational system. Wow, powerful. Mr. Damola is backstage. Please join us on stage. Welcome back. We've been waiting for you. Can we celebrate Mr. Damola? He's back on stage with us.
Welcome.
Thank you so much for joining back in. So I have a question for you, Mr. Damola. Let me just bring that up. I'm multitasking here. That's another skill you need to learn as a professional. Yeah. You must have tech skills. I'm a tech girl in consulting. Yeah. Exactly. So, Mr. Damola, in building our personal brands, How do I fit it into my workspace and not clash with the company goals? The company says we only wear black on black, but my personal style is rainbow color. How do I fit it into, I just added that second part B, to the question. How do I fit my personal branding style into the workplace? Oh, did we lose him? Is that the network?
I think it's a network thing.
Okay, let's see before it comes in. So, Khadija, I have a question for you. You spoke about self-sabotage.
Yes.
And how a large part of it was procrastination for you. Yes. Can you give us a practical way you were able to handle procrastination? Because I know that I can see from the comments, a lot of them are, I am my own problem. I am this, I am that. How do we handle not self-sabotaging?
Okay, so it comes, first of all, it comes from a place of what you use to combat it is number one, you have to look for a place of silence. So that you can hear what your inner voice is saying. You can hear what your heart is saying. You might be professing in your mouth, I want to lose weight. I'll tell you some of things like, I want to lose weight. I want to save money. I want to become a millionaire. Meanwhile, in your heart, the minute you're about to go and exercise, oh, I'm tired, Jerry.
I can't kill myself.
I can't kill myself. I can't die. You are saying that in your heart. You are saying in your mouth that you want to exercise. If not aligning, you are not going to exercise. So you need to be quiet enough to say, what is in my heart? Is my heart saying, I want to exercise? If your heart is saying you want to exercise, and your mouth is saying you want to exercise, you will exercise. So you need to listen to what your heart is saying and tell your heart of this, I want to exercise. I am not tired. I can die. Yes, leave it. I can die. Thank you so much. But thank you so much, but no thanks. Now,
I agree.
I am asking you to do exercise. Then we go and exercise. Same thing for even manifesting money. I can assure you 100%. I've been there. We are one of the greatest culprits of the procrastination. I can tell you for sure. You have to be decisive and you have to be disciplined. You have to be decisive and disciplined.
Wow.
Those are the ways in which
fantastic. Can we have a round of applause for our panelists? I think in the part of decisiveness, for me, one of the things I do is micro learning, micro actions. Yeah. I have come to learn that small bits of time are better than not all this. I want to wait for the right time to work out. If it's 30 minutes, Apologies for the network glitch. We live in Nigeria. Please forgive us. What can we do? Can we have my panelists back on stage so that we can round up the session? So I was saying that I love micro learning, micro action. If it's 15 minutes, 15 minutes consistently every single day. I don't go to bed without learning something new. 15 minutes. I don't miss out my workout days without not putting at least 30 minutes. On a good day, I do as much as 2 hours. But the day I'm not available, I do my 30 minutes and I move on. So really, when my spirit, soul, body is on the verge of, I can't keep myself, I still put it in regardless. So, Mr. Damola, the question I was asking earlier, in building my personal brand, how do I fit it into my workplace and not clash with company goals? You have the floor.
How do you, so basically, your personal brand, nowadays, brands or even companies benefit off your personal brand. So, for example, in my agency, we have influencers. There's some people that are influencers that are also content creators at work. We have people that are speakers that are also account managers or strategists. So your personal brand actually helps wherever you work, basically. So it helps wherever you work. It doesn't conflict. It's basically in crafting your personal brand. It's basically your personal brand is who you are. So it's not that you're not a different person. Um, every brand that's everyone that so if you have a good personal brand, coming to an organization actually helps that organization. It shouldn't be seen as your the quality of the people you have in your team determines the quality of the organization. So the organization is made up of the people. The personal brand of the people comes into the organization. If you look at some of the best companies in the world, like the Google, your LinkedIn, you see that people would put on their bio, I work at Google. When people work in an organization, usually what they'll do is they'll go and check out the people that work there and see what they are like, see what kind of culture that they have. So your personal brand affects the companies that you work for. Part of the things that you bring on board to the company is actually your personal brand. So they know that this person is associated with this brand as well. So if you think of it in terms of even like politics, and we know what certain people bring to the state. If you are a volatile person, that is the brand that you're bringing to the government. If you are a peaceable person, that's the brand you're bringing. So look at an example of Obama. So Obama had a personal brand he had been building over from the years, from when he was a lawyer, activist, different things that he did. And that personal brand was part of what sold him to be the presidential candidate as well. So
True.
your personal brand doesn't need to be something that you're fighting personal versus corporate. Like I always say that yes, just one person. You are one person. You have different spheres of who you are. It's kind of like you're a mother. You can be a mother. You can be a wife. You can be a leader. Those three things are who you are. You don't need to separate them. Every part of you. So the mothering part of you needs to be translated from home to the office. Very nurturing. You can translate that to the office as well. It doesn't need to be something that you separate. The supportive part of you in terms of maybe to your spouse is something that you can also translate into your workplace as well in terms of how you relate to people. So your personal brand not shouldn't be something that you can set. It affects the organization and it's everything that you bring yourself that you bring into the organization.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much, Mr. Damola. Part of your personal brand going forward should be that you attended this summit. And this is a good time to take a screen grab of your screen. Take a screen grab, look for where you made a comment, take a screen grab, and go post this on social media. Use our social media handles for this event hashtag Career Acceleration Summit, hashtag Career Development, hashtag Professional Growth, hashtag Growth Mindset. Those four hashtags are our official hashtags for this year. Hashtag Career Acceleration Summit, hashtag Career Development, hashtag Professional Growth, hashtag Growth Mindset. And if you want to be nice, hashtag Kansi Consults. Thank you. Make sure you take that picture very quickly, put it out there, let people know that you have taken a master class in branding from Damola, Salvador. And of course, you took a master class in positioning yourself in the out-of-box career from Khadijat, Fashina. And of course, you took a master class from Tomi on how to position yourself in the workplace for your advancement. Hello, guys. You have really done an amazing job today. So hit the chat room as we close out today and say a big thank you. We've extended by about 24 minutes and we don't want to keep you any longer. A big thank you to all of our morning session facilitators. We'll be back again. The studio will be live by 4:55 p.m. today. So get as many people in, put yourself in the room, get your notepad, get yourself ready. The evening session is a wow, it's a banger. It's from level to level. Celebrate them for me, let them feel some love. You can look for them on their social media handles. We'll share it as we go along. Follow them, jump into their DM. Don't go and say, come and mentor me. That thing makes me laugh. That's, I don't want to talk, please. Follow them, follow their work, follow their content, follow their writings, follow this YouTube channel, watch the videos. That is the mentoring. But when you have value to bring to the table, your mentor will find you. In fact, your mentor will move from not being your mentor, but your sponsor. Take you into the rooms where you need to enter and tell people there, that's the next level, guys. Let's put ourselves there. And from all of us at the Career Acceleration Studio, thank you for staying with us. We'll see you same time this evening, and please come with someone. So we come back into your faces. Take care and keep accelerating. See you later. Bye. Our facilitators, please tell them bye as we sign out from the studio.
Bye.
Thank you,
Lovely
Mr.
time.
Damola. Thank you, Tomi. Thank you. Woo!